Interesting thing.
Yeah, but what if you leave, he comes late, like this podcast is going to shit right now. So we need to pull it in. We need to pull it in, guys.
Gina's probably not going to say come. Do you understand? She's probably still at the place right now.
But you've asked her if you can come.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's probably going to say yes now, considering all that's happened before.
I don't know, but she's still at the place.
But why did you ask? You could have just went tomorrow or went after this. Why
they prioritize that?
Why, it's not really.
I don't want to make two mistakes twice.
No, it's not really prioritizing.
Oh, I see.
Because you didn't have to go now. You could
You
have
have
went
to redeem
after.
yourself.
Yeah, but I feel like this is the best time because tomorrow I will have no time.
Oh,
the next day I will have no time, and then she's off to Ghana.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair point. Well, she's going to be on Saturday.
Yusuff, what are we going to do then?
No, let's start. All right, guys. So basically, you guys heard that, innit? So basically, Gina's not coming. She's got, something important that she's attending. Jason's sick. He's supposed to come today. Bilal, some of you might know Bilal from Patreon. He's, running late. Zara's probably listening to this pod, right? She's
she
an
does.
avid listener. Zara's supposed to come. Shout out to Zara, but she can no longer make it. So it's just, Brent may leave because he's asked Gina if she needs him for something. So if she says yes, he's going to leave.
He's out.
So we've gone from having like 6 people to like just me and Emily. So yeah, bear with us. Bear with us. But we're going to try and make this a good episode for you. But yeah, all right, cool. So you sent Brent a interesting... Are we starting with that?
Yeah, and it's the last episode before Emily can't feature on podcasts anymore. So she's going to make sure
Please.
it's a doozy.
No.
Is this your last ever?
No, it's not.
Yes, it's just one
Brent
song.
is Brenting right now.
I'm honoured. I'm truly honoured that you chose
yeah.
our platform
Yeah, this is it.
for your last ever
swan
podcast
song.
appearance.
This is it.
Yeah.
Well, it's my pleasure.
That's
my
because she
absolute
works
pleasure.
for...
Oh my days.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
You don't work for
Yeah, she doesn't, but that's besides the point.
So why are you clapping that out?
Because it's
So where you work is similar to that?
yeah.
Oh, I was on my phone when you guys were talking.
Yeah.
So you were in the room and you just didn't care about
It's
anything.
completely out.
I heard,
Selfish.
from what I took from the conversation, I heard something about law.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Wow,
But in that circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, are we in or out?
No,
I
I've already clapped up. I didn't clap up. Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, cool. So
That's a
apparently,
disaster.
apparently I said some things I shouldn't have said just then, so we're back in. All right, yeah, so Emily sent something to Brent, and Brent wanted us to talk about it, to touch on it. So if you can read it out, please, young lady. and
It
then
is
we'll
quite
go
long.
from-
Well, I think
It's
it's
not
quite
long.
It's not long. Okay, fine. I'll read it.
6 lines.
I'll read it. The words belong to one Marilyn Fry, who is a very, very, what's the word? She's a feminist. She's a very loud feminist. You can Google her. The quote is, and I start now, to say that straight men are heterosexual is only to say that they engage in sex, and in brackets, fucking exclusively with the other sex, i.e. women. All or almost all of that which pertains to love, most straight men reserve exclusively for other men. The people whom they admire, respect, adore, revere, honor, whom they imitate, idolize, and form profound attachments to, whom they are willing to teach and form whom they are willing to learn, and whose respect, admiration, recognition, honor, reverence, and love they desire, those are overwhelmingly other men. In their relations with women, what passes for respect is kindness, generosity, or paternalism. What passes for honor is removal to the pedestal. From women, they want devotion, service, and sex. Heterosexual male culture is homoerotic. It is man-loving. Thoughts?
All right, to break that down a little bit into layman's terms for those who are listening that switched off
Midway through.
So
You want me to break it down?
Yeah, you basically saying that men are homosexuals.
And see, that's the takeaway line from the people I have shared this with, because
Well,
I shared it with a
homoerotic.
few people. I shared it with a few
Men
guys.
love men.
No, because that's what it says at the bottom. But what
That is-
my initial response is, why does brotherhood or why does male companionship need to be described as homoerotic?
Yeah,
Why is that the word of choice?
I completely disagree with it, because to be fair, I think the dictionary definition of homoerotic is pertaining to sexual arousal and activity. So if she's saying that, then I think it's completely mad. I shared it with someone. His description was, "That's a bag of shit." That's it. That's what his response
I
to
also
this.
think it's a bag of shit.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she's very angry at men.
I think what she's trying
I
to
think
say.
her man left her for a man. I think that's what's happened here.
She would be fuming if she was listening to you guys. Well, I
Or
think
her man
was gay.
basically wasn't giving her what he was giving his friend.
I think
Wasn't that a convo on the timeline or we had on the pod a few weeks ago
about
Men preferring the
men,
company of other men.
yeah, men preferring the company of their boys.
Charlie Mace.
Yeah.
He did a little clip that was
Yeah, that was
hilarious.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think actually that's the best way to put it. I think what Charlie is essentially saying is that men just they can be companions, and when they are companions, it's of great reverence to you because that's almost your safe space.
Yeah.
You don't have to do X, Y, Z. You're relaxed. You have fun. There are no demands on you.
Yeah.
You can be childish and playful without judgment. All those things. But then she's adding things like you're not willing to learn from women.
I think
that's not where you go.
I think this
to
woman
learn.
is talking from like her own personal experiences.
You think so? But she's an academic. So this is actually from an academic article called The Politics of Reality. These are pages 134 to 135.
Yeah, but she as an individual, she came up with this thesis herself based on what her...
She would have researched it. It would be peer reviewed as well.
No, but I don't... What her research is into what? How men interact and what they want from each other.
She's
but
actually, I should have Googled it. She's feminism, sexuality, and yes, the dynamics between men and women in modern society.
the thing is, her breakdown, I can't say that's wrong, but I think her conclusion is wrong.
Her conclusion is wrong. I don't agree with the whole homoerotic thing. I don't know why she used that word.
Yeah.
But when she said man loving,
Yeah.
I don't think she's wrong. I don't think she's completely off.
Is there anything wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I shared it with somebody else who explained that if you even take it back to, I don't know, hunter-gatherer days, men will commune together to do those things as men because they work best in those spaces.
Yeah.
If you're going to go hunting, you will go because you can organize better, strategize better, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you extrapolate that and bring it to modern society, then why not?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's probably much of a muchness, really, what she's saying. But there is another bit here that I'm interested to know what you think. If that is indeed the case, that men do those things because it works best that way, do you also then want only of women, as she says, devotion, service, and sex and nothing else?
No, I think men want more from women than just those three things.
What would those things be?
I'm on the spot right now, but more than those three things for sure.
Okay.
Brent, feel free to jump in.
That's true.
So she mentioned devotion,
Yes.
right? Do you want devotion from your missus?
Does it have to be a missus? This is the other thing. I don't know
I think
if
you were
the
talking
context...
to Yusuff, and I don't think Yusuff looks elsewhere. Oh, you mean just women?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do women can women only be your missus, essentially? Why would you not expect devotion, service, and perhaps sex from a friend or a colleague, or you know what I mean? Do women exist in spaces for you other than intimate and personal?
Women, full stop.
Yeah.
Like, do men desire devotion from women?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
as a whole.
missus. Yeah.
So do
men desire devotion from women?
I would say yes.
Explain.
Devotion,
because devotion
could
be
as in loyalty, as in
adoration,
companionship,
yes, adoration.
Because what's devotion?
Yeah, no,
devoting is like devoting your life to somebody or something.
Okay, and that's what you want from a woman. But is
a woman to devote her life to me or have some level of devotion to me.
If your mother, for example, it would be your sisters. Where would you? But
I think devotion is a two-way street. I don't think anybody wants one-way devotion from another person.
Devotion, love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person or activity.
Yeah, I think devotion has to be a two-way thing. Imagine being a person and you're happy with someone just to be devoted to you, but you don't really care for them.
Yeah, you are God.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you want
But
love
that's why she
and
speaks
loyalty?
of the pedestal.
Yeah.
That's why she speaks of the pedestal. And I think there are links there, aren't there? Because what people argue is that often men put women on pedestals, and a pedestal is nowhere nice to be because once he's upset or fed up or whatever, then he just knocks you off, and a pedestal is therefore no place for any woman to be.
I think
that's an interesting take.
But do you think women put themselves on pedestals as well?
Not necessarily. For whose benefit?
For their own. I think women see themselves as being above men in terms of morality, behavior, standards,
I might be the wrong woman for that conversation.
No, you're the right person. Just like,
You know what I mean? Like, I think women look at men like, no, you're beneath me, but I have a higher sense of morality and, you know what I mean?
I think in mainstream sort of timeline conversation, I think there's room for that, and that might be what we see and what we hear and what is actually like sort of the zeitgeist. That's what's out there.
Yeah.
But then I don't think that it has genuine merit.
can you just explain to him what zeitgeist is? I know it as, I guess, the spirit of a time.
Yes,
right?
the thing that's popping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what we have these days, don't we? When we're talking about men and women, that women think, oh, men are trash and men are what or whatever. While we're here and we're as we say, devoted and we're good and we're all this stuff and we're suffering at the hands of these men who cannot
men are trash,
commit.
but it's the same men that you want everything from are trash. I don't understand how that works.
So this is why I was saying I might not be the right woman for this conversation
Well, you
because
Right.
I always say that. And I get into trouble for this because very quickly I become a pick-me. But I always say that whenever women have negative things to say about men, and when they have the spirit within which they move is one of, bashing.
Yeah.
How are you bashing the very thing that you seek? Because at the same time, your one post is bashing, the next one is me and somebody's son. Where are you going to get somebody's son from? Who is he?
By the way, I'm sick and tired of that. Me and
You and
somebody's
somebody's
son. Oh my God, please.
You
Can
don't
we
want
just
to
bury
see
that in 2021? I don't want to see that anymore.
Well, you need a list of those. You need a list of things to give up in 2021. Definitely. But no, I think that's a part of the conversation that we don't have enough of.
Yeah.
We've bashed the men, we've bashed the men, we've bashed the men.
Yeah.
So when do we repair? And this is not to say that women are solely at fault if we want to do that.
What's going on, bro?
I think that hello.
Oh,
What do I say again? Wa alaikum salam. I'm sorry. He never says assalamu alaikum.
yeah, because I don't say it to non-Muslims.
Really, Bilal greets me like that every day.
Okay,
And every day I stutter because I've forgotten what he said the previous day. Bilal, this is your seat. This is your seat.
The hot seat, the hot seat.
Okay.
This is your seat. How are you?
I'm fine.
How's your day been?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Give thanks.
Yeah.
Who's been kissing you?
Huh?
Who's been kissing you?
What?
Brent, what's your
We give thanks to the Most High. You know,
She said she's still there.
God is
Okay.
good. You know, God is
That is good.
good. God is good. God is good.
Okay.
I can hear you.
What's going on?
Nothing at
Has
all.
everything kicked off?
It has, but
It's
we're
kicked off,
pleased to
but-
have you here.
Hold on, let me just I want to hear you make sure you're.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Am I okay, by the way?
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, cool, you're cool.
I'm good, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Alright, cool.
All right, do we want to
Yes.
read it out again?
Yes.
Should I? No. I read the whole thing out again.
Yeah,
You acting
'cause
like
he wasn't
you acting
present.
like it's bare long.
Oh, okay. I will read it again. Bilal, we're trying to break down this woman's views. I don't think I shared it with you.
Mhm.
I shared it with a few other people, and we've just sort of started to have the conversation on what our thoughts are on what this woman says. She's a feminist, and this is a piece that she wrote in the late 80s, an academic piece. It's a quote from an academic piece, and it goes, and we're going to ask your opinion on this. To say that straight men are heterosexual, please don't interrupt it because I know it's going to trigger you, is only to say that they engage in sex, fucking exclusively with the other sex, i.e. women. All or almost all of that which pertains to love, most straight men reserve exclusively for other men. The people whom they admire, respect, adore, revere, honor, whom they imitate, idolize, and form profound attachments to, whom they're willing to teach and from whom they're willing to learn, and whose respect, admiration, recognition, honor, reverence, and love they desire, those are overwhelmingly other men. In their relations with women, what passes for respect is kindness, generosity, or paternalism. What passes for honor is removal to the pedestal. From women, they want devotion, service, and sex. Heterosexual male culture is homoerotic. It is man-loving. What are your thoughts on that? I'll give it to you to have a look just in case you need a recap.
It's a bit of a mad one still.
Yeah, we obviously
Mm.
don't. What you don't
Let him
mean
form
to?
his own opinion.
Okay, cool.
He has his own opinions, I'm sure. He will spew them regardless of
Yeah.
anybody else's.
You know what? I think that that's basic. It's almost cultural where she's coming from.
Cultural.
Yeah, like I think maybe in some cultures, but I think that she's giving love a very generic, broad-based understanding or view, and I think that based on different people's cultures and different backgrounds, their gratification for what they seek from the opposite sex is very different. You know, so to give it this generalized view, like we're all from the same standpoint or mindset as men towards why we articulate what we need from a partner is brash. I don't feel like it stands. But at the same time, I do believe like you look at Japanese culture, you look at Greek culture, you look at Roman culture, and there's a lot of homoerotic.
You agree
things
with the descriptor, the homoerotic descriptor?
No. I feel like in certain subjective circumstances, when it's circumstantial, there are cultures where a lot of the love is leaned towards man loving and homoerotic. Like you can find things like that, like I said, in old Roman or Japanese culture where
Greek
it's very
culture?
it's very advocated for, you know, like when a man it gets to even certain level of friendship was normalized that they can even sleep with each other. It's just seen as a bond in certain cultures. I understand that, but I think like in a broad-based consensus, I think that a lot of Western men seek servitude or seek a certain bond because that's
servitude?
Not necessarily even servitude. I think some men seek a certain bond because of that's what's demanded by the social norm in society, not even because they've dictated it. Like, unless you're like maybe a man in the 50s or 40s and you got to set precedence on what was seen as a social norm in relationships in the West, which was very, very far back. Nowadays, men, we kind of go with whatever women say is okay. So, no, seriously, like most men, don't you agree? Like I believe that a lot of women set the precedence for what they want from relationships in modern time now, more than ever. They're very vocal about it. There's a lot of movements that will stop you from misbehaving as well as a man. If you don't say nonsense now, they will bundle you and put you inside, or Lokma will put you inside police station. So you can't even, you can't play stupid games or you win stupid prizes. So I feel like there's a lot more of an empowerment and a, you know, like a, women have a better standing now. So it's almost virtually impossible for men to have that kind of an effect or that kind of perception as they're trying to put it in terms of how we feel about them or even how we feel about men. I think that it has some points, but it's outdated. It sounds very outdated.
What she's quoted.
It sounds very outdated and it sounds like a very, very old concept. And seeing as it's coming from 1983, I don't think there's anything that's something that's hugely relatable to now because is especially right now where there's a lot of different kinds of genders, different kinds of sexualities. People are accepting of everything, of most things, you know.
I had started to say that, or ask about the bit where she brings in women.
But she wrote that to fit her own agenda because she could have listed a lot more things that men want from women, but she listed like 3 things on purpose to fit her agenda, and this is like 10 things that she believes men want from men. So I believe she wrote that just to fit her own agenda, to be fair.
So in the 1980s, what else did men want from women that she didn't mention? What do you think?
In the 1980s, or just I don't think anything's changed from 1980s to now.
But he thinks that it has.
I think it's severely changed.
Severely, as in what men want from the opposite sex.
Well, he's saying that women have enough power to basically dictate what it is.
Women have a huge, now more than ever in the 1980s. In 1980s...
Yeah, but what women want from men wouldn't change what we want from... He's asking what men want from women.
It does change. They have enough power to basically just take it, suck it. Whatever they want, they're getting it.
Yeah. So do you think that men are on
the
back foot here?
Yeah, because you see, back then, if you tell your wife, oh yeah, you're doing this, she's doing it it's not even a negotiation, you know, in the 80s, 70s.
But that's to say that men of today aren't different from men of the 1980s. So I don't think you're describing, like, what type of man are you describing? A man who wants to rule over her, be a dictator, tell her what to do, tell her where to come, where to go?
No, not necessarily that. Just more on like the vim of it. Like, you know, like right now, you have to admit, like, there's a certain uncomfortability that comes with modern day men where, like, do you approach them and tell them you have to cook for me 3 times a day?
Of course.
But would you have done that? Would you have done that in the 80s though?
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Just are we talking 80s? More from an African standpoint?
I don't know.
From our culture.
Well, that's what I can talk from. I'm not an Englishman.
Because that's I can relate to that on a cultural level.
As an African, okay.
From
that's why
my dad, my uncles, whatever, but not from a
Western
standpoint.
If you listen to some of the personally, me, I like to always talk in the space that I'm from. I'm not going to act like I'm neutral. I'm not neutral. I stand on my own corner.
Yeah.
But if I look at the people that raised me or the kind of upbringing I had, the older generation had a more tightly knit like standard to what they required from relationship.
Yeah.
I believe that we're quite loose with it and quite, go with the flow. Our generation, like, is more
as next generation African men.
Yeah, like it's very like right now it's very okay, you want to walk is fine. I like a woman that walks. So you don't have to cook. You can cook once every 3 days. It's not a problem. We're falling back on a lot of things that were social norms in the 80s in comparison to now.
But do those norms as they were, would they still have a place today? Why was it the norm then and not now? Is it because the landscape has changed and it just actually is not suitable anymore? Or is it just that, as Brent was saying, women are on this wave of, empowerment?
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. I believe human beings are opportunistic. I think a lot of women see the advantage of a lot of movements that's happening right now, a lot of the things that is being advocated for them right now, and a lot of women are going to take advantage of that because it benefits them in doing whatever it is that they want to do. So I think that plays a slight part in it, but also just the climate of the society. If you're seeing that this is what's portrayed, this is what's in the media, this is what's in most relationships, certain discussions are coming up. This is the podcast era where we talk about any and everything. Things that probably would have been seen as taboo back in the day, So it's kind of giving this, I feel like it's giving this room or this leg room for things to kind of transition and people to define what it is that their relationships mean or what it is that they want out of certain situations. So I feel like because of those kind of situations, it's open up dialogue between men and women. So it can't, this whole homoerotic ideology, I feel like it's outdated for us because there's not much things about women in this new generation that's not open for discussion right now in podcast terms or just in general discussion in the street. So, you can meet a woman in the bus stop and she'll tell you that last night I had a threesome and, it was wild. Like, she'll tell you some wild shit. Like, whereas in the 80s, 70s, 60s, yo, you're a community harlot. Nobody wants to. You're doing what? Like, in those days, you have to admit, like, there was consequences that came with some of the things that we choose to talk about now. Yeah, there were negative consequences that came with some of the things that we talk about so openly, so laid back now. So to say that from then till now, nah, man. And maybe back then also because of that stifling inability to communicate with women, maybe that's where she even saw that dynamic. But bro, men are different now. Like, men are listening to women talk about our show stuff so much. Like, oh yeah, I suck this person, I fuck that one. Yeah, me and my husband, we do threesome, we do MMF, we do, and we.
Do you think that's changed the making of men today, or the men's place in society? That women are just so, I don't want to use the word empowered, but free.
Remember, times have changed. We've evolved as people.
But how has it impacted men? That's my question.
No, but the thing is, as women evolve, we have evolved and adapted.
Do you think so? Because I think
it's not like, for example, I'm a man who lives in this age, but I have a mindset of someone who's born in the 60s. I don't. So as women have evolved, men have evolved. So we've adapted. So I don't think it's a case of we're at loggerheads. Obviously, you still got people who have old school mentalities.
Yeah.
But
is it still steeped in culture now?
Subjectively and circumstantially.
We spoke about a young man earlier before the mics came on, and he is a modern man. He watches modern content, but he still holds
very
to
traditional views.
Yeah. And he said he's also a Christian, right?
Yeah.
So culture and religion, culture.
And also I think the whole diaspora issue as well. I think that's a really interesting, trifactor to not be at home or to have been raised here by people who were raised back home, and then factor in religion as well. And then those traditional elements, what is the making of this man? Those are the makings of this man. Who is he? What does he look like? And does he have a place in today's society? And because of where he is he potentially then the kind of man who takes umbrage to this sort of liberation of the female species?
Let's take Marvin. Yeah. He's a modern man, right? But still with traditional viewpoints, no?
Like what?
Wifey.
Right,
I don't know you're talking about Marvin.
Huh?
No, what are we talking about right now? You said like what? Like what type of traditional?
Oh, you mean like an old school African mentality?
Yeah.
I don't believe
Would you?
so.
Do you have a no? You're not. You're very.
No, I
But
wouldn't say so.
you have very traditional views. Would you think of yourself as a modern man though? You're very steeped in your culture.
Very much, very much.
Yeah.
Very much. I think it gives me grounding in terms of who I am, my identity. I grew up in Nigeria, so it
Only
makes
till
it a
you were
big part
what,
of who I am.
15?
Hmm?
Till you were 15.
Yeah. So, but that matters to me. Like,
No, of course I know. I'm not.
It grounds a lot of what I think I am. My concept of integrity is all based on Africanism. So it's like I definitely consider myself that, because I don't see anything modern that makes me feel like.
So you wouldn't say you were a modern man,
No.
other than being in this time.
Define a few things.
There's nothing about the modern time that
the title of modern man.
reinforces
I don't
who I am
know,
right
actually,
now. I don't feel that.
That was my
nothing about
question. Who is the modern man?
Exactly.
That was my
I'd like to know
question,
that.
and I think Yusuff, maybe
Well,
you should.
based on this conversation,
Yeah.
we're talking about if you're talking about in relation to African culture, then a man who on a basic level cooks for himself, cleans for himself,
Okay.
doesn't need or want a woman for those basic things.
Okay.
Is not a man
that
who
makes sense.
expects his woman to be his servant, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Or
Um,
doesn't expect her to play that strictly traditional role.
yeah, where she's I'll say.
I'll say what you want to say.
What do you want to say?
No, I don't want anybody to be any face. He's right. He's absolutely
He's right.
Absolutely.
As in, the man's the breadwinner and the woman is the what?
Homemaker.
Homemaker, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think the homemaker, aspect of things, I think that's kind of died down. I think men and women are more playing on like a 50-50 type of vibe.
No.
No, you say no.
More
Bilal.
more so than back in the day, 100%. Definitely.
Do you think it's had a negative impact on the family and by extension the community?
1000%.
That things are 50-50 and not that one is breadwinner and other homemaker?
Well, no, sorry. I think the man is still the breadwinner. I don't think that's changed.
Okay.
Obviously,
I don't believe that.
It depends. I think things are more 50-50 than they used to be.
Closer to 50-50.
And remember, every individual circumstances is different. You can have a couple which is 50-50. You can have couples today which is still, living by the old school mentality. But I think as a whole, we're more meeting in the middle these days.
Bilal, did you disagree or did you have a different take on it?
I don't think we're meeting in the middle. I think I think a lot of traditional roles that women used to take have now taken on the bracket of like misogynistic, and a lot of women are against a lot of the things that they feel were traditional roles back in the day. But I don't think that the same thing translates in men. So how's that 50-50?
How, when you say it doesn't translate in men, what do you mean?
Men still partake in most of our traditional roles, like in terms of working
this is
and
you take
doing
me back to that podcast. What's that?
Yeah, so you see that
Fashion
50-50,
fits?
that like how can you you've relinquished certain things that you do, but I haven't relinquished anything.
Because like we said earlier, women are more vocal with what they want.
Yeah.
And I think men are less vocal about what they want.
And then that's not 50-50 then. Because if that's
not
that's
even closer to.
50,
so that means you are doing agidi and me, I'm coming down. How's that 50?
Okay, maybe 50-50 was the wrong
analogy to use or phrase to use.
But I think men are fulfilling or contributing to a lot of the role that a woman would play. So, for example, let's just say in a traditional African household, that the mother is the one who cooks and cleans. Nowadays, the man will contribute to the household. The man will also cook and clean.
But the woman won't necessarily bring in as much money.
Yeah, so
home.
No, but okay, cool. Maybe 50-50 was the wrong word. Then it's a case of men, I believe, are doing more of the roles that a woman would solely do by herself in the past, where women, and obviously this is, it's all relative to your own circumstances
and individuals.
but women aren't maybe contributing financially as much as men are contributing to the household.
I wonder if there's a different way to look at that, Yusuff, because women are in the workplace more.
Yeah.
But if you were comparing that to, say, my grandmother, you can argue that they are actually bringing in more than previous generations did.
No,
but
I'm not talking about earnings. Like
you're saying the give and take.
As in, okay, cool. Women are definitely earning more money.
They're doing less.
They have better jobs. I know a lot of women who have better jobs than the men I know.
Yeah.
Who are earning more than the men I know. I'm more saying it in terms of, finances. Are women contributing financially
All right, to the household pot.
The household, or just to the relationship, as much as men are contributing to
the additional bits that you've done.
Exactly.
Okay, I get you. That's interesting. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right, essentially.
So women kind of have the upper hand now. Is that fair?
Or they have a better deal.
So women probably have a better deal now than men had back in the day. Or
so
no?
this is interesting because I was speaking to
men had a better deal back in the day. Women have a better deal now.
Yeah, that's
what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay, but I still feel like men need to negotiate more of what their role is.
Don't forget your mic.
They need to negotiate what their role is in relationship in modern times. I feel like we've had a good maybe 10, 20 years of women vocalizing their feminism and what they feel misogyny stands for and how it affects them. And I feel like there's a huge grey area when it comes to misandry and the things that men feel tainted by or feel affected by in modern society. I feel like...
Can you just clarify what misandry is for the listeners, please? Because we've heard of misogyny before, but we seldom hear about misandry.
They have Google now. They have dictionary. How can I
do your
describe
Googles?
it?
Do your Googles.
At their big age, they don't know misandry. Let them Google now. Everlasting. They have Instagram. They have everything. They have internet on their phone. You know me that's explaining misandry for them. They are mad. Google it. Look. What kind of madness is that? You imagine we're all big people here. They have their fingers there. They can be looking at nudes and they want to free. They can't Google misandry.
Brent, read out the definition.
Imagine that.
Like, wow.
I agree with Brent, but still, like, Brent, you need to encourage them to try more. They're not trying more.
All right. So misandry is the dislike of or contempt for or ingrained prejudice against men.
And I feel like a line hasn't yet been drawn where men are more vocal about what that is and how they feel about that.
I think that there is a movement towards that, but that movement is being labeled certain things. So I'm going to mention Kevin Samuels, for example. And I don't think that Kevin Samuels is misogynistic per se, and I'm going to get flogged for saying that. But I think he is what you are saying right now. He is vocalizing that sentiment that women have had. But men are now saying, actually, it's not really working for us.
Exactly.
And it's not necessarily working for you either, especially for those of you who are saying you're seeking husbands and fathers to your children.
Yeah.
If you're going to march to the beat of the I'm a feminist boss bitch, city girl, whatever, and then demand that your man be a traditional man when you're not being a traditional woman, you're not necessarily going to get what you want. So what are we going to do about it?
I think that's always been the problem with certain, relationships where a woman wants a man to be traditional,
quote unquote,
and the woman doesn't want to be traditional herself.
I'll be honest with you, everybody wants the other person to be traditional, just not yourself.
Yeah.
You see, me, if I don't have to pay for anything, I will not pay. Thank you. But but still, I like a woman that cook 3 times a day.
No, I hear that.
I like a woman that will give me respect. A woman that will treat me. All the kind of things there. Traditional roles.
Yeah.
But one thing I understand is that traditionalism takes a lot of routine, a lot of discipline, and
humility.
Yes, and that's something that I feel in the new generation, both men and women, it's very uncomfortable to say, okay, I have to bow my head and just be able to have the foresight to know that if I leave it now and lose the battle now, I might win the war later.
That's true.
But you see, I think that's where there's a huge problem.
On
both sides, but at the same time, I feel in the past 2-3 decades, women have got to be able to be vocal. They've been very vocal, very, very vocal. And I think we're at a junction right now where I think it's time for men to be a little bit more vocal too. It shouldn't just be, because if you look at even the mass media, it's only after Kevin Samuel happens that you see that little pockets of men still speaking out that they're not happy about this, they're not happy about that. Where were these men for the past 50 years?
Towering.
Exactly.
What is it that women are demanding that we deem as, unwarranted? Because even if you talk about the household, I know a lot of women who love to cook.
Yeah.
Who love to take care of their man. Who love to cater to him in that way. So let's look at money. Has women's desire for a man to be the sole financial provider, has that ever changed? That's always been the status quo now. So what exactly are women demanding now that is, I don't know, unreasonable or,
See, for me, the discussion is that I don't care what women are demanding. You won't hear me. That's not my business. That's for them.
Yeah.
You see, that you get what you negotiate in business. So it's a woman's job to worry about what she wants from the situation.
Yeah.
My job is to worry about what I want.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
But how does that?
And that's my no. Let me just finish it. Like, as a man, I feel like my discussion here now is that men are don't have a strong self-concept of what they require from relationships anymore.
Self-concept.
They go off what women are comfortable with, and that is what the new generation is. Okay, I like this as long as it's not misogynistic. I like this as long as you're okay with it. And I feel that's a lot of the energy right now in our society.
I agree with you to a certain
and
degree.
Men need to open up more and be like, okay, boom, I like this, or I like that, or I like that. And within a space where it is not seen as something to immediately shut down. Because I feel that it puts men in this position whereby we have to audition for our women. It's not we're not coming in with a mutuality and a reciprocity kind of factor to things. We're meeting women and saying that, look, okay, I'm not misogynist, you know. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a madman. I'm not a killer. I'm good, you know, and that's not the vibe. That should never be the vibe. Like even back in the day in traditionalist time where things weren't easy for women, they didn't have to come on an audition and thing like that in this position that we're in. And I think that it plays a huge factor to why a lot of men don't feel they can't be vocal, why a lot of men are simping right now, why a lot of men are feeling demasculine, like not feeling emasculated. Sorry, not feeling like they're allowed to express their true masculine nature.
Emily, what role do you think patriarchy has played in all of this?
Oh, the patriarchy.
Oh God.
Because I'm guessing that's kind of like at the base of why women, you know, expect or, you know, demand what they want from men, right?
Beg, please.
I really don't know how to answer that, Yusuff, to be honest.
Because that's why obviously you hear the pod when I'm talking to like Gina or Krista or whatever, and patriarchy is the one thing they always go to describe any type of negative emotion. Oh, patriarchy.
See, on the one hand,
I wish I was
we're talking about negative emotion, and I am learning, very recently I've been learning not to try and base any sort of genuine thought or intellectual discourse on feelings, on emotions. Because feelings, even though we say they're valid or they're not valid, what are they really bringing to the conversation? Can we speak in facts, in actual experiences, etc., etc.? So going back to patriarchy, I'm not a fan of the concept. I understand it exists. Of course, it has existed. It has played its role in society. But the reason I'm not a fan of it is because now I think, like you said, it is the answer to so many things. The patriarchy. We don't even define it. We don't even discuss it. We don't even apply nuance. We don't do any of the things. We just say the patriarchy. It is the answer for everything. And I think what it has done is taken away from women, or perhaps not even allowed women, the opportunity to be, and I'm going to get slayed for this again, more accountable, more thoughtful. What role do we play in our own demise, quote unquote? What conversations are we having about, you know, rectifying or making the situation better? We don't do that because we just talk about the patriarchy. It is this faceless, this monstrous beast that we face that is embedded in absolutely everything that we do. It is defeating us even before we start, and we can't do anything because of the patriarchy. You know, it's almost like this weird conversation we're having. On the one hand, we are liberated, we are free, etc. But at the same time, we are fighting this beast that we will never be able to slay. What are we doing? And also, what do we want? One of my favorite things about Kevin Samuels is like every time someone turns up on his show, he asks you, what is your desired outcome? And I feel like women need to ask themselves that before we start engaging in this conversation. What do you want?
What do you want? Emily, seeing as we have you here, what do you want?
What do I want?
Yeah, Brent likes all the converts to be specific to the people in the room.
people who are here.
You keep caveating certain comments you make and say, I know they're going to call me a pick-me, but...
They do, yeah,
what do you want? What do you want? And what do you want for your daughter?
And what do I want for my daughter? I want her to grow up in a space where she is able to articulate and understand her needs and her desires beyond what she is feeling. For her to live a life that is authentic to who she genuinely believes she is, even though that person is going to change with seasons and experiences and whatever. I want her to be able to navigate all those spaces as best as she can, with as little crippling as she can, as she will be faced with. And that's a very generic answer to give. But I feel like if she can understand her space, then she can vocalize what she wants for herself and for those around her. I go on, Brent.
What do you want? You
asked about my daughter.
Yeah, I asked about you
last.
first.
Me, what do I want?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It varies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who am I asking it of?
It tends to vary, right?
Yes, but who am I asking it of, basically? What I want from Bilal will be different from what I want from Zara. What do
you as a person, what do you want? You as a person in terms of, you see, like, you said out Kevin Samuel asked what do women require from
but when he's asking that question,
he's asking you in the same respect as a Kevin Samuel.
No,
aren't you?
No, because those women that come to Kevin are always talking about
so I'm aware that you mentioned Kevin Samuels, and
if I were to go
full
to Kevin
well
Samuels,
that Kevin Samuels could basically mean, what do you want from me, right? What's the question you have?
No,
I know that you're not talking about that, right?
Okay.
And if that's not the case,
yeah,
then when you said what you said, you must have been talking about something. Mm-hmm. What was that something that you were talking about?
When I said what I said pertaining to what?
Kevin Samuels.
So when women come to Kevin, very often they're like, oh, I'm 30 years old. I've never had a man. Why don't I have a man? So when he asks you what outcome do you desire, he's saying, do you want to be a wife? Do you want to be a baby mama? Like that, he asks you to state that first, cool. And therefore you reverse engineer from there.
Cool. And
so I'm not
and that's
going
fine.
to Kevin.
No, as it pertains to patriarchy.
Patriarchy.
Yes, this boogie monster that's under the
able to slay.
Yeah. What do you want? You just mentioned
I
what you want for your daughter.
Right now, okay.
Apply that same thing
to myself.
Yeah.
On a very deeply personal level. Is that you're asking me?
Whatever you just did for your daughter, do it for you.
I don't know what I want.
All right.
Yeah. Yusuff had clocked out. I don't know what I want. It changes. And I can admit that. And I don't know that many women can admit that. What I wanted 10 years ago when I was married is different to what I want now that I am divorced and, sort of free all over again. Yeah. I want completely different things. So I can't give you a singular answer, honestly. I can't.
That's why this patriarchy thing is going to be...
I don't even see how it relates to patriarchy.
Well, you started talking about patriarchy, right? And
he brought up the patriarchy.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out where... Obviously, if women are demanding this, and this, and they feel almost
defeated even before they start.
Yeah, it comes from somewhere like that. Desire for men to cater to them in certain ways. I think it stems from, I mean,
I can understand that there are limits throughout life that women face when it comes to either finding work or, I don't know, just going about your everyday business and people are catcalling you or you can't wear this or rape or we have these conversations time and again. And I think there is no denying that men have the upper hand in so many everyday situations, whether you're talking about your safety as you walk down the street or if you're talking about your ability to have a CEO job, those things do exist. There is no denying that. But when we are talking about personal, intimate relationships, and that's what I think we were talking about, I don't see what... I can see, yes, how patriarchy comes in, but in your intimate personal space, you have every opportunity to deal with that on that level. But I also think that the conversation that we have in the mainstream now is just a fight. Men are standing there, women are standing here, we're shouting at each other, but ultimately what we want is to come together. We're not having the conversation about what is it going to take for us to come together. Talking about patriarchy does not give us that opportunity.
Very true.
It does not give us that opportunity. We're not building. We're simply shouting at each other and throwing mud at each other. When really all the women are saying we want somebody's son in the picture. The men, I don't know if the men want somebody's daughter in their picture, but it seems to me that...
I've seen a few guys post that still.
I can't lie. The man them are declining in that respect.
The men are declining. So this is, maybe that's what the dilemma is, isn't it?
Daughter,
yeah. That the girls want their husbands, but what do the men want? I don't know.
We want.
You guys don't want women per se, do you? Yusuff?
What do you mean?
You don't want your life partner.
Okay.
I'm not
okay, life partner.
Pause. Sorry.
You said
I
don't
think the
want
word
women.
is pause. I'm sorry. I'll pause that one.
Are you asking what men want from women or men from?
If I'm saying that what women ultimately desire is that life partner with whom to grow and build with, to be the father of your children, your husband, whatever. Yeah. Are men seeking the same thing? Are you seeking your wife, the mother of your children? Generally speaking, in that context.
Yes, I believe so.
You believe so? Bilal, not so.
No, be honest. Obviously, obviously there are men who don't desire that.
Is there enough of them to say?
I think you see the thing. I think that with men, the difference between men and women is that I believe women have more of a tenacity for that kind of thinking, where a woman can go through 5-6 relationships and she's still thinking about having a husband and children and the perfect family.
And you're just going through the motions.
Whereas men, I think that you give it your best that one time, and when it flops, I'm tired, Joe. In a way that I genuinely feel like most men are like that. Like,
that's interesting.
We try the one time, and when it works, I think every effort that comes in after that first time where we put our best in is subpar. After that first one where we put our best, where I'm going to die about this girl here, and we're going to have children, and then it flops. I think men genuinely were half stepping after that.
Is it sustainable though? This half stepping.
We get tuntun, we're all right. We'll live.
As long as you're getting pumps, you're happy.
As long as we get pumps, fam, we're okay. And maybe like
what happened?
Some man have already had the kid they want, so it's like.
This is interesting.
I know a lot of men that think it's okay. Like they've got they've been married before, got divorced, and they're living la vida loca. Like if you tell them marriage right now,
I have friends who have
stress. They don't want to hear it.
I have friends who have kids who are not in relationships, and they're happy, they're content,
ecstatic. Like happiness. Like you can get up and go wherever you want, go up and do whatever you want. No one is stressing your life. Your hairline is intact. No.
Because
trust me.
On the other hand, even the women who are the mothers to the children of your friends, they're still seeking potentially to be somebody's wife still.
Yeah, so but that's women. Like,
that's women.
Listen,
men are not like that.
So that's the eternal friction.
You lot are thinking about getting married for when you're kids. You're planning your wedding in your head already. Men are not young men.
We're not.
At 10, 11, 12 years old thinking about marriage. But women are. And that's the difference between men and women. You guys desire companionship, relationships, marriage. Whereas men, they do as well, but that's not at the forefront of our mind.
So maybe, because I said previously that I think that we're on the opposite sides of a bridge and we're trying to come together. We might be trying to come together, but not for the same things.
Yeah.
And is that therein the issue?
Mm-hmm. Partially. But I just think that it's more accepting that our mindsets and natures are very, very polarized sometimes in certain aspects. I think the discussion of constantly looking for this equality disparity is causing a big part of that friction, where I think a lot of us feel like, if I feel this way and I want this, why don't you want that as well? Rather than, I feel this way, what do you want? It's more, I feel this way, I feel this way, why don't you feel this way? The fact that you don't feel this way, you're disgusting. You should feel this way. And that's kind of the energy that a lot of men feel. Like some men are very hedonistic. Some men are very, I don't know, they just come in different spectrum, just like autism, So you can't really peg it and put it into this rabbit hole and say, everybody's going to fit. We're going to cut out this template and it's going to fit every body shape. Even it's not possible.
The issue is, I feel
and
like
that's the problem, because the equality, I feel like part of the confusion right now in the equality argument is that the equality is only seen from the perspective of men trying to be the same as women. Not men trying to be men, women trying to be men, and us respecting our equal standpoints.
Women trying to be women, not women trying to be
women. Trying to be women.
Surely,
women try to be men too. Women try to be men too. There's a lot of hyper masculinity in women now.
No, are you saying that is what is being sought after? Because you just said men trying to be men. The whole idea of equality should be that men are trying to be men, women are trying to be women.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like that's not what's happening right now. I feel like we're more pushing into each other's roles more, or pushing into each other's department. Like for men to feel equal now, they have to act more feminine. They have to act more, I don't want to say anything that will cause problems, but they have to do their own, they have to do small, Yeah. But and women too, For you to feel equal to a man, now I have to work all the time. I have to have this power suit. I have to, masculine. No man can tell me anything. Do you know who I am? Independent. You can't shut up your mouth. It's so I feel like everybody's, we need to just calm down. We can respect a housewife. We can respect a power suit. But that is your prerogative.
Yes.
The same way we can respect uncle that has 16 girls on the go and uncle that's, has a wife, children, and is looking after everybody. We can respect both of those perspectives. And I feel like that's not what's happening.
Uncle with 16 girls on the go.
Huh?
We have a question around uncle with 16 girls on the go.
Now? What happened to uncle with 16 girls?
So what is at the 16?
See what I'm saying?
I know. Of course.
Anytime a man is enjoying, it's a problem. Women just get angry. Why are you happy like this? Why are you having fun? Everlasting bastard. I don't know what it is with women. The minute a man is enjoying, it's
I had
a
one
big
question
problem.
that you
Who do
did
you
not
think you
allow
are?
me to ask. I have one question.
Ask
How are the 16 women doing? Are they happy? Is it a harem? Are they on rotation? Is it a homestead? Is everybody catered to? If that's the case, then that's fine. I'm fine with that situation. Okay. If the 16 women are being played and they're all oblivious and don't know what going, people are crying one day, then there's an issue with that.
Look, I can't tell you all the semantics behind it. I just know that is consensual. That's all I can say to you. It's consent.
It is not.
Everybody is consenting to offing pants. That's the only part of it.
But it is not ethical non-monogamy.
You see, you have entered another department.
Yes, because that's the only way in which I would say, okay, fine. Because ethical non-monogamy assumes that all parties are aware of the situation and of the...
If he's lying to them, and each of them
each
of them believes that they're his only girl, then there's problems there, isn't it?
But if the 16 girls are like, okay, I'm number 14 in the queue, and then...
Well, go on. That is what it is, isn't it?
Bilal, you disagree. You're tired.
I don't know. It's not even about tired. I just feel like... It depends on the position of the woman, Like, I feel like sometimes she might not be that important. She might not be.
To who?
To Eva, to the whole circumstance. Like okay, there might be circumstances where a man meets a woman and he does his thing, and it's not that serious where I need to start explaining to you, okay, auntie, there's 7 other women there. One is Sandra, and one is this. No, she might be a one.
I understand. Okay.
She might just.
So she's not in the rotation per se. She's just an encounter.
No, she's a cameo. Like she just came through and she passed through. It's not serious.
She has a walk-on role.
Yeah, she's not
like main character.
Yeah, she's not recurring.
No, I hear what you're saying. If it's just like a quick pass through, then why do you have to tell her?
That's what I'm saying.
About the other one.
Yeah.
Every woman likes to be given this pedestal of to say
I just wanted you to elaborate.
You're important like that. Sometimes it just start going at it. Thank you. God bless you. That's how it is. And the same thing applies to some men as well. I'm sure I've been in situations like that where I was feeling myself.
You were also cameo role.
Auntie just said, look, slow down. You're misbehaving. Excuse me. That's not for you. You have done your job. Thank you. A bad man will be like, what do you mean by this? You know I am.
But that was your place in her story.
I don't think it's everybody that needs to know, because I think it's mutual. Okay. Women do that too, where they're not gonna break down to you, okay, there's this uncle here that he breaks me off, he breaks me off, 5K every couple of weeks, and I go and do whatever nastiness he likes, in Hilton's. I got this other one they don't tell you that. How many women tell you? They don't.
No, you're right.
But is it happening?
Yeah,
it is happening. Okay. But still,
so
I feel like men are more likely to say, yo, you're not by yourself, don't think, I'm a high commodity. But but I feel it's a reality,
Cool beans.
I think people need to respect the standpoint of how everybody is living their life. And I think that should be something that we should be able to take from the whole transitional period we're in right now. Like,
it is a transitional period.
Because I feel like everything's being redefined. Traditionalism is being redefined. Modernism is being redefined. Relationships are being redefined. Marriage itself is being redefined. Parenting is being redefined. So for it to be redefined, I feel like everybody needs to have an equal input in what that redefining is, what that transitioning is.
Yeah.
And I feel there has not been enough to be heard from what men have to say about it.
And men are too afraid to say it.
I
think most men are too afraid to say it.
Well, me, I'm not afraid, I swear.
You're not afraid,
I'm not afraid.
Okay.
Wallahi, I'm not afraid.
But I think for the most part, men are not. There are very few men who are willing to speak out, I think.
Because
we know that as a whole, they'll face a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
Because men aren't allowed to say, I want this from a woman, I want that from a woman. But it's fine for women to say it.
Yeah.
Isn't it about time though, for the advancement of the conversation?
Men
of
just
the
don't want the
situation?
drama.
You
Like,
don't want the drama. It's not worth
He's
your
very
while.
right about that. He's very right about that. He's very right about that.
Like,
Okay.
what's the benefit of me
Putting
vocalizing my
yourself out there.
opinions to the masses? Nothing at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll vocalize my opinions to the person who I'm pursuing. Me and her can have that conversation. I don't need to tell the whole of Twitter. You know what I mean?
I get it, but then that's sort of like, well, the whole point, for example, of the podcast is so that these views can be exchanged, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And I mean in that sense. I don't necessarily mean that the random man necessarily has to be declaring his opinions or whatever, but I just mean that in the spaces where conversations could be had, maybe more of these conversations should be
I agree
had.
with you
I
that they
completely
should be
agree.
having. But
I agree because we need to advocate ourselves more in respect of the fact that, you know, like I feel like we need to kill certain what would I call it? Stigmas that kind of hang over us as men. You know, like the stigma of like men being the main people that cheat, the stigma of men only wanting sex from relationship.
Yeah, those things are nonsense.
The stigma of men only wanting women for only servitude and sex.
Mhm.
The stigma of actually
Right.
saying
That's what I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah, the stigma of saying that, you know, men are breadwinners and they don't have the emotional clarity to always communicate. The stigma. No, there's a lot of stigma that go around.
There's
Man. I think
a lot,
that
you're right.
men need to open up their mouth more now. Now that women are openly discussing the disdain of traditional roles and some of the things that the roles they've played for thousands of years. So I think this is the best time that men should say, you know what, like, it's not exactly enjoyable spending the rest of my life looking after you and your children. Like, it's not.
Our children, Bilal.
Okay.
Our children.
Oh. I'm an African man. When I'm
Our
angry, it's your children. I'm a Nigerian. When I'm angry, it's your children. When they're doing well in school, see my son. Can you see my son? Can you see my daughter? Hey now, this is my genetics. Yes.
The thing is, even if we go back to what this woman said,
Yeah.
a lot of the things that she says men want from men, don't men want those things from women as well?
I kind of think I was trying to
Like,
ask that question.
A lot of them.
No?
Like, you said, oh, okay, cool. Respect,
Mhm.
admiration,
Mhm.
adore, revere, honor, imitate, form profound attachments to.
Yeah,
Men want all those things from women
All
as
those
well.
things.
that's true.
So why has she just negated that
Mm-hmm.
and just listed three different
We have
things?
to ask
Feels
her.
like
Exactly.
there's an agenda.
That's what
There's
I'm
an
saying.
agenda.
Yeah.
And I feel that's why I said the statement is outdated and very, very much biased to
Admiration,
to wherever she's
recognition,
going
reverence.
through.
Like, we want all those things from women as well.
Auntie's
So-
going through something. I'm telling you. For
No,
you to
she
just
is,
say
she is.
all men are on some homoerotic thing, you're angry about something. Someone's upset you.
Do you favor companionship with your boys than women?
It depends. What do you-
Not in a sexual...
subjectively, what do you mean by companionship?
Would you like to spend more time with your guys having fun than using that same time to spend with your woman?
I believe that personally, I feel that I grow more from being around men than women.
Explain.
Okay. You see, I love the nurturing energy of a woman. Like, I love a woman that wants to cook for me, you know, slight maternal role like a woman has. I like that. I don't like it all fucking day. I just don't. I like sex with a woman. Only with a woman. But it's but unfortunately I don't want to have sex all day. So it's like, but you see with my guys now, we share ideas and we can do that all day. We go to motives and we can do that all day. We bring each other on ideas and we can do that all day. We challenge each other and we can do that all day. You know, it's like, I feel the symbiosis or the synergy that happens from masculine or men vibing with men, it's just different. It's very different and is a lot more resonating with me because I'm a man. I resonate a lot with men in terms of just vibes
And that
everything.
hits you in a manner in which a woman can't
Cannot.
touch.
I was going to
At
say.
all. A woman can, like, when I come around certain circumstances, like, I'll go to my guy and my guy, okay, you know what, like, bro, I was doing this or I was doing that, and do you want to do this? And maybe we can try that and get this to happen and this and that. You know, like, I feel like there's a certain mindset where men are very solution orientated and they're very, you know, problem solution. They're very goal orientated. Not to say women aren't, but there's a way that men are that it resonates more with me, and I feel like being around certain man, I learn more. I hear more things that teach me a
This is
lot.
what Marilyn
In my
is saying.
experience, compared to being around women, like I feel like if I'm around a woman now, there's always going to be like other factors. You know, every woman I know is going to discuss her feelings about a situation and a circumstance. She's going to ascertain my views and if it aligns with hers and how she feels about my views, even not aligning with hers. She's going to tell me about the context of how she feels towards an opinion, like how she felt, why she even takes this opinion this way. I think like women take things from a very different perspective and they look at 4, 5, 6, 7 different angles on the same subject sometimes.
See, that's interesting because I harken back to you and Marv going back and forth with the whole Wiley and Dizzy conversation, and you saw examples of the same thing that he suggests that only exists in women. Men do that same thing.
But that's the thing. I'm not saying it only
but they
exists in
don't
women.
basically look to fall out forever about it.
Exactly. That's, you see, I don't know. Like, there's just something. Like, I'm not. And don't get me wrong. It's not only women. There's a lot of men that do the same thing too. But I'm just saying, in my experience of why when I would rather chill with men than chill with women, it just resonates more with me. There's less freaking bitchiness and emotions, again, angry.
Jesus.
It just is. I'm sorry. Like every time I
Bilal,
go around like
but
certain
Bilal,
people.
when I hang out with you,
Uh-huh.
please
Uh-huh.
point out maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 incidences in which I have demonstrated or expressed.
No, but there's
listening.
always anomalies.
Emily,
You're probably one of them.
Emily, how many times have I said you're an anomaly? Okay then. So, have I not always vocalized the fact that I'm surprised that me and you are not fighting? Don't I always vocalize that?
Yes, sir.
Because I won't lie to you. Like, I can chill with the boys and we're cool. You know, like, everything's vibes. But I know that around women sometimes, around women, yeah, you get me. You say one to opinion, and if it's not their opinion, it's a very emotional thing. You know, like, and not just like how like, don't get me wrong, man, them disagree. But you know when you can agree, you can just agree to disagree as boys, and it's cool. But with girls sometimes, and I'm a blunt man, so I'll say some things, and it's turned into tears. It's turned into trigger about something that happened in your childhood. And you're exposing all this vulnerability. And I think, Auntie, I wasn't even thinking about your childhood or anything to do with that. Like, this is a genuine opinion. I was having an intellectual discussion with you about this thing. It's not an attack at who you are. And I'm not saying that's generically all women, but yeah, it happens sometimes. And I feel like I get less of them kind of interactions with men.
Is that your experience, Yusuff and Brent?
Before he continues, because don't forget that question. You mentioned before that you as a man, you don't like spending time with your wife and her child. Sorry, it's not what you said. It's not what you said earlier. And then she was like,
you have to be careful.
Our child.
He'll take what you say.
No. And then you said it's our child. And he's like, when it's this. It's not what it's just.
No, he said when he's angry, he'll say, your child.
No, I heard that. But what preceded that?
I can't remember.
What preceded that?
God.
Wait. Didn't you say that?
Be alert.
Jesus Christ. Let's walk it back. Let's walk it back. Why did you basically say our child?
God.
Why did you correct him?
Because I think he was saying, all right. So,
Wait. Go on.
Because Bilal said if he's, I think he was saying if he's upset or something with the child,
he was basically saying men need to be more vocal in this transitional period and actually vocalize the things that they actually want so that the contract is made 50-50 as opposed to just women basically imputing this. And one of the things he said, one of the things that you said was that, I don't want to basically be spending time raising.
And
then you corrected
then I
him.
said our child.
So I'm not making this up. That's what he said. And you said he wanted to come and talk about fatherhood. So I was like, what?
The context is saying this. I was mad.
His recap makes
I'm
sense
listening.
now.
I'm listening to him.
It makes sense.
I'm listening to you. I'm as God's witness. I'm sitting there listening to you. I love listening to you.
You basically said in the moment of just expressing yourself, you said, I don't want to spend all my time taking care of you and your child. Remember?
And then you corrected him.
But what did I say before that? What was the context? Because the context is sounding mad. Like
I don't remember what was
Exactly.
What
You
was
pulled
before
it
that.
out of nowhere, fam. Like,
I don't remember why he said that in particular, but he said it.
I can't even remember the reason why
I
I
am
said
telling
it.
you why you did it.
Okay,
I'm
why did
telling
I
you
say
why
it?
you did it. As you said, we're in this transitional period where
Oh yeah.
these arguments are being had, and there's only women participating in formulating
anytime
this
man
new
says
world.
what
Yes. I
What you
agree.
want to
And in you saying, yes, you could have been just saying, for me, it's a task, it's a chore, and I don't just innately want to do it.
Yes.
So I understand you saying that, but you did say it.
I did say it.
Yeah.
No, but it complete the context of what you said.
That's
The way
okay.
you dropped it.
That's okay.
I don't want to be my wife and children. Relax.
No, it only struck me
Relax
because
more.
Emily said that you would love to talk about fatherhood.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
No.
I was like,
To be fair though, you see the context which I was saying that, just like I feel like what I was saying that for was that if women are allowed to say that, okay, it's misogynistic to demand cooking for me. It's misogynistic for you to demand that I have to stay at home. It's misogynistic. Men should also be able to say that. It's misandric to be able to say, I don't want to stay at home all the time. It's misandric to me. That's what I meant, or the context I was saying it. So yeah, but it's not like, oh, I like, please, if I have wife and children, I want to see them. Thank you. Just clarify from there, please.
I would have thought you wanted to stand behind the statement you made because, again, you're very bold and brash, but I'm seeing you walking the back now.
No.
That's okay. That's okay. We
Nobody's
look,
walking back.
we're in 2021. We're going into 2022.
It's context. It's context. I need context. Brent, you are very dangerous. You are going to get me inside serious problems. Please, excuse me. But no. I genuinely believe that we should be able to vocalize that. I think that is very important because right now, if we don't, we're kind of folding and giving the power to the other gender that they're allowed.
What does that look like? Because I guess they will say for centuries,
yes,
we have been formulating these contracts. We have been deciding what it is going to be. Mm-hmm. So should we actually be 50-50 going into this new agreement?
But you see, the thing is this, according to who were we in control of that? You see, because one thing I don't like in this new generation, I feel like they give this premise that before now, every woman that came in the past was helpless. Before now, every woman that came in the past was weak. Before now, every woman that came in the past was controlled by a man. And that is very far from the truth. My grandmother is a property owner. She's a business owner. And she's a married woman. Are you doing
the whole anomaly thing? Or are you talking about the general consensus thing?
I know more than one woman from my grandmother's generation within my own family.
People, but is it en masse? Is it?
Where I come from,
okay,
Nigerian women generally tend to be educated, tend to go into business, tend to go into property. You're a Nigerian. Am I lying?
You're not lying.
It's very true.
Where you come from as in this age?
His grandmother's generation.
No, you're talking about his grandmother's age.
Your grandmother's generation, all of them were entrepreneurs and...
Uncle Brent, calm down. Uncle Brent, calm down.
I'm listening. Relax. I promise.
Okay. Are you listening?
Yeah.
That's good. You just cool down. Okay, listen. You said that men have had a say.
Yeah.
Okay, you said men have had a say all this time. So maybe it's not fair for us to have a say now. Maybe that's what you're saying, Abi.
Yeah.
So now I'm saying to you, how can you say men have always had a say? Because it gives the premise that women haven't always had a say from before.
Yeah.
And then that's where my arguments came in, that women have always had roles that they play from a long time.
Yeah.
My grandmother was a business owner. She was a woman that was married for 48 years. She was a property owner. Same thing with a lot of her sisters. Same thing with many women in my family. And he can advocate for the fact that a lot of Nigerian women are like that. So if a lot of Nigerian women are like that and have been like that since the 50s and 60s, where is this idea that men just came and said, or maybe just me, I see it very differently.
Yeah, I find it difficult to...
In my own culture, I don't
think
see how I can look at... I don't see how I can look at...
Yeah, but you're Nigerian.
Yes, sir.
And you're Nigerian.
Yeah.
And you agree with what he's saying.
No, I agree with what he's saying, that there are a lot of Nigerian women who have businesses, who, are entrepreneurs. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the whole premise that women were never oppressed or subjugated at all. No, I believe that women were.
My point is not that. I'm not saying that women were not oppressed or subjugated. You see, I feel like we act like there's no nuance or context to the situation. Yes, some women were being oppressed. Even in modern day, some women are being oppressed and subjugated. But does that mean that there's no woman not being oppressed and subjugated?
No.
The point, therefore, is...
And that is what I am trying to say.
No, I like that's why I asked you, are you speaking to the anomaly? Some of this does happen. Or are we speaking to...
I think you're speaking to more of what you know and what you've seen.
Yeah.
But Brent
that's
is
all I
saying
can
that
talk
the
about.
Yeah, as opposed to
majority
the masses.
don't necessarily fit your experience.
Possibly. But all I can do is talk on my experience. I can't speak on what I don't know, me personally. I'm always going to speak based on what I know. And what I do know is that a lot of women from the older generation leading down to now, in my sincerest opinion, have always had power. They've had a say in some of their circumstances and situation. And I have seen many successful women in my family, business-wise, property-wise, entrepreneurship.
Relationship-wise.
Yes, relationship-wise.
So you don't understand why this whole feminism thing is a thing, to be honest. Because like,
Okay.
what, you've been having power.
You see, what you've just done there kind of...
That's Brent.
What you just done there?
What you just done there is kind of giving the premise that I don't have understanding of feminist literature. I understand what feminism is. I'm an intelligent person. But
I know you are.
My thing is this.
That's what puzzles me.
But my thing is this. There's still nuance. And that's what I'm trying to discuss here.
Yeah.
The nuances. Not just the one, everything is patriarchal, women are suffering.
Yeah.
I'm giving a different perspective.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Shikina.
He's from the Caribbean, and why are you throwing...
No, I guess it's based on the context. I understood what...
Yeah, so because I feel like there has to be some nuance, some different other perspective besides the horrible things that we've done as men.
Yeah, but then a woman would be like, okay, what now? Because you just mentioned a few cases, but it's been rampant amongst the rest of them. For example, I did tell you about a few black people who weren't slaves, or who weren't
You did?
under the white man's... It's an example.
Okay.
Who were able to navigate this particular pathway without having this white man be racist towards him. And you tell me, what has that got to do with life in general? That's just one man's case. I feel like that's what you're doing here.
I kind of like that though. I won't lie to you, like, because sometimes I get bored of that shit. Like, I like when I hear people that your experience has been different from the one that every single person has. That's just me. I don't know. Like, I don't need to hear the same thing I've heard from 1,000 other black people about slavery and all this other stuff. Like, not all black people are tied into it. And not all black people are tied into the experience of slavery. And that is okay. I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying that is your experience. And I feel like people need to understand that there's different contexts to different things. Like, if you're a black man and your experience of white people has been fantastic, then it has been fantastic. Stop trying to force slavery and oppression and you're angry with everybody. If that's how it is, that's how it is. It's kind of like how Lil Wayne was talking about in one interview about how he's never felt racism. And most of the heinous things that he experienced were with other black people. You can't invalidate that statement. Yes, he's American. Yes, slavery happened. Yes, but does that now negate anything that he has to say? Or does that negate the reality of how he lives? And yes, you might want to say that he's speaking in anomaly, but I don't feel that way, personally. I don't feel like, because I feel like it's more ridiculous to believe that all the millions of us are having the same experience. That's what I feel is more ridiculous.
Okay.
I hear that, but yeah. I guess I'm not making an argument. I didn't claim that, right? That's not what I claimed, right?
No. You
did not claim.
No,
so you've run onto something else.
No, Brent, you did not claim. You did not claim, Brent. Yeah. That's
too.
It's good.
But you did say that you were well read, right? And there's a reason why.
I have read feminist literature, yes.
Not just feminist literature. Just let's talk about historical records.
Okay.
You are aware of, you even mentioned how Romans would practice that type of, why did you tell us that? Why was it important for you to even read up about that? You're not a Roman.
To be fair, I don't think it was necessarily a thing of importance. I believe that general knowledge is always empowering 100%. And very useful to any human being that
even
chooses
though
to
it's
seek
not
it.
your experience, right?
110%.
Why? Why is it important to take on general knowledge?
General knowledge is developmental. Like, it helps your mind. It grows you and it gives you a different perspective.
Because you may not remain in the same space in which it is that you grew up in, right? You might migrate. You might travel.
But you see, general knowledge, you don't learn it because you might travel. You learn it because of your own interest. I'm being specific
here with people who look like you. You growing up in Nigeria, you may not deal with any white man whatsoever. Your confrontational experiences might just be black focused, right?
Yeah.
But when it is you now travel now, you experience different things.
True.
Right? So as you said, 100% it's bad to think that every black person in the world has the same experiences.
True.
But we do travel. We do go about the place.
We do.
And the fact that it is that we are in different places is because we have been removed from certain places. And
I agree with
certain
that.
places.
I agree with that.
So the general knowledge thing, when as I mentioned just now, why it's important, is because you may not remain in this particular space. You may be on the internet, still in Nigeria, connecting to someone else from some other place, and they're treating you in a particular way, and you're wondering, why are you treating me like this? Even though I have never met you.
That's subjective, though.
It is very subjective, but it happens, right?
Subjective in sense where I feel like, you see, if you're discussing gratification here.
No.
You're kind of discussing gratification because
explain.
Let's say if I'm not traveling, I can't just want to know general knowledge.
No, I'm not focused on general knowledge here. When I mention general knowledge, it's why do people even look to entertain knowledge gathering outside of their experiences? For me, that's how I see general knowledge, right?
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. It's a subjective sense of gratification.
Again, I don't know how. Explain to me.
We do it for different reasons.
Exactly.
Essentially, what I gain from acquiring said general knowledge might be different to what he gains.
Yes.
That's what he means by the subjectivity of the gratification from which I...
Yes, and now let me try to make myself more clear because I'm obviously not making sense here.
To us. Only.
So I would like to know about how a man in Nigeria experiences, I guess, racial interactions.
Okay.
You may not have many white people there. You may not have many Chinese people there. You may just have a lot of black people there. When I talk to him about my experiences in this country, he might be baffled because he may not bounce into many white people. But he might be interested in my experiences because one day he might be in the UK. So he wouldn't be perplexed if he comes to the UK and he happens to be called a monkey or something.
Okay.
Right? Now, I initially asked you about, please correct me if I'm wrong. And this is why we've gone down this particular winding.
I know. I'm like, wow.
Winding staircase. I'm trying to piece it together.
I was going to say, your attention span is far better than mine.
Wait. I'm trying to piece together. Because there was a comment you
made.
He's
not doing a bad job. He's playing devil's advocate.
No. There was a particular thing.
Though.
There was a particular thing that you'd said, and I found it weird that you'd said that. And you said,
have we lost it?
No, I haven't.
You sure?
I'm just telling you why I basically said it's like the black man. Because you talked about this experience of your grandmother, right? And you would prefer to just look at the good aspect of this particular thing.
No. I didn't say that I would prefer to look. I just said that that's my reality. It's not a preference of what I want to look at.
Yeah.
It's just that, you see, I know my reality and then everything spans from that reality. Everything else is information I'm collecting afterwards outside of that reality. You see, one thing I feel is that I think we're saying the same thing just on different ends of the stick. You see, you think I'm saying everything's good and I'm not noticing anything else. And I see you like, I see everyone else, or like what you're doing is like, you're noticing the bad, which is the slavery, and everything else is not as important. Because
let's forget about the slavery, because we started with the whole feminism stuff. Right? You mentioned your grandmother being able to be a homeowner or business owner, and you know a few other relatives who are like that. And I was saying, but those are the anomalies, and over the course of history, women haven't been afforded said access to whatever your grandmother had access to. And you were like, but that's my experience. That's my lived experience. So I don't know anything outside of that. And that's my question. But you're well read, so you would know about things outside of just your lived experience.
That's the point you're trying to make.
Okay. I get it. He went really long-winded about it.
That's why I mentioned the black guy.
Okay.
Because that's his lived experience.
I get the context of where you're coming from. No, you're absolutely right. I understand, obviously, glass ceilings and everything that trials and tribulation that women have faced going through the centuries. I just wanted to pinpoint what my experience was. And I think that maybe where I was wrong was saying that I can only talk about what I know.
Yeah, because that's
so because that gave the impression that I don't know anything else. But the truth is that I choose to speak on what I know.
Yeah, that's
what I meant. I think when I said I want to talk about what I know, I just mean that I want to talk on my personal experience. I'm not talking about the reality of the whole circumstance of women and their tribulations in the world, because I don't think it's.
But neither are you negating it. I think is what you're saying.
That's what I'm here. So I just feel like it's not my path to walk. My responsibility is to translate my own experiences, and that's what I meant by what I was saying.
All right.
Rather than kind of like brushing women's tribulations under the carpet. Yeah.
All right. So, I guess to be a good guy and be an angel's advocate. Mm-hmm. So, in this new world that you are suggesting that we both have equal input in crafting this document of what social interaction should be going forward. Yeah, going forward. You are saying I want to be heard because my experience is not like his experience. So we're not a monolith. We're not monoliths, right? So in doing this, we would have a well thought of document because everybody's included. Everybody's ideas and thoughts of how this should look like is included or is at least considered. But in the end, if the masses are saying this is what we want, surely the little person who is suggesting this is not going to basically be allowed to come through. It's about raise your hands if you agree with this, and if the majority put their hands up, surely that goes. It can't be the person who has a unique lived experience who does not want that particular thing to fly.
So basically, like a herd mentality, then.
But you've framed it in a negative way, right?
You swap sides every now and then.
No, but wait. Is that a bad thing? What he's just mentality said. When you say herd mentality, it sounds negative to me.
It's not positive.
But it
But
I see it as...
there's room for all these things though, Brent.
No. This analogy of this contract, this new contract that we're forming, right? We're in transition period. And the conversations that are being listened to en masse are from women's voices. And you're saying that shouldn't be the case. Men need to be more brave and actually have an input into this conversation, because if this contract is going to be formed, we need to basically be considered.
Potentially two sides, even though, as he was saying, that it's a lot more than just the two sides these days. But yes.
All right, so make your mind up. Are we going down the whole whatever we identify as, they also need to be chipping in? Or are we just looking at the man and woman type of dynamic? Okay,
for simplicity's sake, let's just...
Is that all right? Is that okay?
I'm sorry, Brent.
No, I'm just asking. If you want to do that, then maybe we would never have this thing. Maybe we just say, let's just wing it.
No, but the truth, I think what I'm trying to say is that no matter what, even in this new world that, we're trying to construct as we go along, there will be room for everybody. And I think that is actually part of the current transitional conversation that we're having. There are so many, I don't call them fringe groups, but whatever is not the mainstream heteronormative conversation, is also claiming its stake in the conversation.
Rightly so, no?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so as we go forward, even though I think the point you're trying to make to Bilal is that even though you are speaking from your own unique experience, what is happening is that the majority are saying a particular thing. Should we not therefore default to the majority because they are the majority? Where, and your voice, sorry, Yusuff.
No, that was an actual cough.
Your voice will be heard, but it might not necessarily land. And what I'm trying to say is that might be the case, but there will still be room for his voice or any other voice that is not as loud as...
100%. Because that's what you kind of started with. You said in the beginning, let everybody respect everybody's happiness. I think that's how it is you started, right? Yeah. But then as you went on the conversation with, these podcasts and all these women are talking, and men aren't talking. Do you understand? So when you veered that way, I was like, all right, cool. Maybe it's just a man and woman. And I guess because you are in a black community, a black man, black woman, right? So that's why I basically went down this particular avenue. Okay. So I agree with you. Everybody's happiness should be respected. But men should talk more. so that they know full well
this man has just
what
said
the
exactly
happiness
what I've said.
sounds like.
You know what it is about?
Brent,
this
you're
day
not
and age,
easy.
That's
yeah.
what I said. I agree with you.
You're not an easy man.
I said
Brent.
I agree with you.
I swear to God, you're not easy.
I said I agree with you. I agree with you.
You've missed the episodes where there's hella.
No, this is what it
He's
does.
not an easy man, you know.
No, but I haven't done anything. I agree with you on that point. The other things that we were talking about were separate. But I agree that whatever happens, each person should have a space to basically vocalize. And as you said, men aren't doing that.
Yeah.
Because you said men would just be
I think
we give
toned
up
down.
too easy.
I think the issue is, I see a lot of women online have this mob mentality where women band together to deem anything a man suggests that he wants as being toxic or what's the word? Misogynistic. But a lot of these women are doing these things offline. So they're online bashing men, calling them misogynistic, but
at the same
time, they're catering to their man in the same way that the man is describing that he wants them to cater.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going on? It's like women are women are pandering to other women online.
Yeah.
It takes me back
That's
to
misogynistic, that's toxic, but you're just...
What do you want, really, women? What do you want?
Exactly.
That's why I went back to Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
What is your desired outcome? If we can establish that, then maybe we'll have more constructive conversations. If we're honestly asking, what do you want, honestly, women? If you're saying, I want a man, and the man is saying, okay, this is what I want of you, then you decide, can I deliver?
Negotiate.
Yeah.
Or negotiate.
I think most men know what women want, but are you willing to give it to her? Do you want to give it to her?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even know.
Because she said she doesn't know what she wants.
Bro?
Yeah, right now I don't know what I want. I'm in transition too. I'm in Bilal's world.
Let's create a list. Women want someone who can provide, someone who can protect. They want a companion, someone they can talk to, someone they can build with, grow with, get married to, have kids with. Someone who's going to take care of them in times of need, someone who's going to help them grow and achieve certain things, and someone who's going to stroke their ego sometimes, someone who's going to,
amongst other things.
These are all things that women want, but are we willing to give women everything they want? Because
no.
And I think the reluctance comes from the fact
where?
You know what it is? I think the reluctance comes from the fact that it seems like women can ask for anything and expect it.
The expectation.
And then complain if they don't get it. It's like women want relationships under their rules. These are my terms and conditions. This is what I want. If you don't do what I want, then this relationship is not going well. It's not, you know what I mean? Whereas men can't do that and say, I want this. If I don't get it, this relationship's not going well. This relationship
can't. Why? You use the word can't, meaning the ability to do so is not there. Is it the ability to do so or the willingness to do so is not there? Because I believe you can.
It could be both.
You're choosing not to.
It could be both. And I think, I don't know. I think, I can talk from my experience. I think I'm more patient than a lot of women that I know. Whereas, and I'm not quick to tear something down because
it hasn't necessarily panned out.
Yeah, because what I want is not happening right now.
Right.
I'm gonna try and meet you in the middle. I'm gonna try and mold the situation. I'm gonna try and work with you so that we're both happy. Let's work together so that both of our needs are being met. Whereas I think with women, if her needs are not being met, it's just this is going to shits.
Is it because there's a general fatigue? From the woman's perspective.
Yeah, obviously. But that's men as well. Because remember,
we keep talking about, and I hate to use this phrase, but we keep talking about biological clocks and, just the general inequality there is in the woman's situation. So if she's, for example, negotiating for a relationship, a marriage or whatever, and say you're not necessarily willing to be monogamous in that situation because either you're still talking or you're not engaged or you haven't decided or whatever, and she's less willing to be patient. She's less willing to give you the time to decide whether or not you want to be serious about her. Surely we can give her the grace to do that because it's more pressing for her.
No.
Understandably so.
No.
Okay, you tell me now why.
Manscaped, the leaders in men's below-the-waist grooming, have you covered this holiday season. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped to keep their trees trimmed and ornaments polished. Go to manscaped.com and use the code MUA7 for 20% off plus free shipping. Fellas, it's time to kill 2 birds with 1 trimmer and get yourself and your lady a gift. I'm talking about the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, where you'll find our signature lawnmower 4.0, which boasts skin-safe technology and is also waterproof. So go to manscaped.com and use the code MUA7 for 20% off plus free shipping. That's manscaped.com.
I just don't think so. I don't think there's any grace. I think that's a man's prerogative.
What is a man's prerogative?
If he feels like he wants to allow her to rush him, because I
Would you
believe
say okay.
or feel like he has to, I don't know, acknowledge a biological clock or anything like that. I think it's his prerogative. It's not something.
Why
that
mustn't
needs to be
he
allowed.
acknowledge her clock if she's? Because again,
because he's going to be rushed. Because anything that rushes him, I don't feel like it's going to allow him to make a decision that's completely organic and of his own volition. So, I think acknowledging that is just creating this rush. That's how I see it personally. Unless you, I think it's more the woman's job to look for a man that maybe feels urgent about wanting kids. Cool,
simple.
Yeah, but to say that as a man, because she has a biological clock, you have to now acknowledge it and not let her start misbehaving. No, it's not possible.
No.
Until I beg, you will not rush anybody anywhere. Please.
It's a negotiation.
No, it shouldn't be.
Exactly.
No, it shouldn't be, and that's not what you should be actually preaching. Find the person
that fits.
That best aligned with that.
Don't look the force.
Otherwise, don't disturb the guy.
Precisely.
Yes, and that causes problems because
especially if the guy says, "I am not ready."
No, I feel like
if the guy says, "I am not ready," and he's
you have to
told
respect
you
it
this,
as much as he respects everything.
you can't get vexed with him after that. You just decide to take your own choice.
Remove yourself from that situation.
Yeah.
Yusuff, what were you going
no, I'm
to
gonna
say?
say, obviously, if you come to a man and you've got, your own, set time in terms of your biological clock, and he doesn't really, he's not forthcoming in the middle, then cool, you can remove yourself from that situation. But it's not as easy as, okay, just find a guy who does, because what if that guy ticks so many other boxes?
Exactly.
But this is the one sticking point. Then let's try and work around this.
No, because that's where you literally knock heads.
Yes.
This is where you knock heads.
You see, finally.
You're trying to do something that you
shouldn't be doing. No, but the thing is,
finally.
No, but if you keep bouncing, the minute you find a problem, okay, cool, you're not on it, let me find the next guy. You're just going to keep moving around. Why not? Is there anything wrong with...
That's allowed.
I know, but of course it's allowed, but I'm saying, is there anything wrong with sticking with something and trying to work at it?
Yes.
Tell me something. In this specific scenario of children, right? A man is saying, or he's saying...
Depends what he's saying.
And the clock... it's not clear enough.
No.
It's not clear enough.
If he's saying, I don't want kids at all, it's not happening, then of course you leave. If he's saying,
and that's fine.
Not now.
And if he says not now, you've now let her feel as though there is hope, right?
Yeah.
So it's now on her to decide, how long do I leave this whole keep asking him for?
Yeah.
And if each time she comes and says, and she's not getting what she needs, it's up to her now to basically, well, what are you going to do with it now?
Well,
you have this information.
Well, use your better judgment. Don't ask me every month. You have to leave realistic life has to be in between each ask.
And you see, with what...
From the minute she asked me for a baby, I am out, bro. Are you mad?
And this is what she's
saying. She asked me for a baby twice. I'm gone. I'm asked out. Are you crazy? That's wild.
But hold on.
You should.
No, but does the amount of time you've been together, does that
those things factor
play a part? If it's a woman you've been seeing for a few months, of course, alarm bells will start ringing.
Exactly.
If it's someone you've been with for a few years, then will you take that with a bit more...
But you see, if I've been with someone for a few years and they understand how my nature is, then they have to have got some kind of incentive, which allows me to feel like we're at that place to have that kind of discussion. Maybe we have other life plans that fit in with that.
Yeah.
But to say like how I've seen certain times where in some relationships and some of my boys, like they'll get to a certain maybe transition in the relationship or get to a certain rut. And then it's like, they go like, I want to have a baby. Like, I want to have a baby. What you saying? Type shit. And it's like, And when he's like, I wasn't even thinking about a baby. And it starts causing friction and all this. For that, I'm not with it. But if like, let's say we've been together a year or we're even just on a serious path and maybe we're talking property, we're talking about things that are long-term commitment, then cool.
Yeah.
But I think what I don't like is that a lot of times people come with this biological clock argument, come with this, how I feel, how the woman feels about the situation. But you're forgetting that I could be raising this child for the next 25 years. It doesn't matter what you feel. I could be raising this child for the next 30, 40 years, in fact, because I'm going to be 40 years old still calling my mom to, yo, mom, like, imagine this bastard there was telling me one nonsense. Like, I'm going to always look for support from my parents. So this is a very long commitment. And I feel like if you know that the guy you're with is not saying like, or he's not really full on in, there's nothing to negotiate. There's nothing to work through. And you're just wasting your own time to even say you're doing all this work through nonsense. I believe children should be something that you want it. I wanted my child. And I went to every, like, I listen to certain women here, like, they'll be like, the father of my child here, he didn't even come to the classes. He didn't come to this. He doesn't want to do this for the child. He doesn't. And personally, I think like those kind of things come from those type of situations where, oh, I want a baby, or let's have a baby, and uncle is doing what Brent did. But you see, the minute I saw that stick, we're pregnant. That's my words. Swear down, we're pregnant. That's how it was for me. Yeah. So every antenatal class, everything, I was there. I was happy. I read 4 pregnancy books. I was with it. But at the same time, I have friends that they got headlocked into the thing. Like, it is complete abject bullying. Like, and then they have forced fatherhood. Like, literally forced fatherhood happened on their situation. And I feel like that's where it should not be. Like it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to ask anything. Look for the guy that adores the idea of it. Of course. Even in a situation where you said the guys are forced into it, who do you blame then?
Interesting question.
If I speak.
Because if I don't want a child,
you shouldn't.
If I don't want a child, no woman can force me to have a child.
Yeah.
So if I go along with the plan unwillingly, that's my own stupidity. So I can't then complain and say I'm in a headlock. Like, it takes 2 people to make a baby, so...
Uncle, you're pandering small Jerry.
I'm not pandering. I'm not pandering.
Explain why you are accusing him of pandering. Because he may not understand.
He may not understand. I want to have a baby and I say no and we have a baby. How's that me pandering? Okay. I've told you no, but we've had sex unprotected or whatever we've been doing and we've had a child. How can I say I'm pandering?
Don't you think?
Well, he has a part to play, but let's not pretend that there's not another part to play.
Bro,
also.
I'm not gonna lie to you. No woman can tell me I want a baby and I'm saying no and then we have a baby. How's that possible?
Say that again?
No woman can say to me, Yus, I want to have a baby, and I say I don't want to have a baby, and then we have a baby. I've said no. So if we have a baby, then I chose to have a baby with you. I can't then...
I don't know what you're doing. Because listeners are hearing 2 conversations at once.
Sorry.
No. This is important. This is important.
Sorry, I can't then complain and say, oh, I was trapped, or... I don't understand what you're trying to say.
So, let me get this right.
She's not Mary. Like...
So you said it's impossible for you to say you don't want to have a baby.
Yeah.
And for you guys to have sex.
Yeah.
And for it to have a baby.
And then I'm complaining. No, obviously, I'm not talking about the science behind it. Of course we can have a baby. I'm saying...
He's just as culpable.
If we have a baby after I say I don't want a baby, I'm not going to complain now because obviously I've played my part in this, in conceiving this child, bruv. What do you understand?
I'm confused a little bit.
I think it's very...
How are you confused? It's a very basic premise.
Wait. You can tell the woman you don't want to have a child.
Yeah.
Right? And you can continue engaging in unprotected sex.
At my own risk. And if you have a child, how can I complain then?
And this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And she also is aware that this can happen, right?
Yeah.
And she hears you say, you don't want to have children.
Yes.
So, in you saying you are responsible, isn't she also responsible?
Of course she is. We're both responsible.
To do what?
As in...
To tell you, to insist that you basically strap up when it is that you're having sex.
Mm-hmm.
No, she wants to... I know she wants to have a baby.
I thought you were pandering if you say that it's still on you. It's not still on you.
But this is what he's saying.
You didn't say the both of us part. I thought you're...
It's obvious.
No. That's why I just said what I said. This is what I just said what I said.
We share the same sentiment.
Bloody hell.
Until you said the both of us part.
Yeah, but I'm assuming why would I say it's all on me? Why would I say
exactly? That's why I would call it pandering if you said that, fam. Not because when you said both, it makes sense. I can't lie.
It's on you.
It sounded like you were saying it's on you. I can't lie. It came across that way.
From what he'd said before, it's on him, basically.
No, but in totality, obviously you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So why would you think I'm saying it's all on me? Why would it be all on me?
That's why I was worried. I was worried, bro. I was worried. I thought you're
No, come on.
She has a choice.
It's not stealing whilst you're here. It's just everybody's. I don't like people.
Why are you acting like this is the first time you've ever been here and you've seen sweets?
I don't really have them. This is the first time I'm having them.
I've been staring at them since I got in here.
Sure. Would you like some sweeties, sir?
No.
Question.
Offer.
Yeah. So, what else would you like to basically say or include in this new contractual agreement? What should men be more vocal about in this particular time?
I think men should be vocal about what we think our roles are in relationships outside of finance.
But I'm not gonna lie, the only thing I care about is the financial side of it. Because that's the only thing that I see that women are just trying to get the complete monopoly over is my money.
But the honest,
everything else I'm cool.
I'll be honest with you because of how I feel about like having a more traditional mindset in house race. I feel like there's certain intricate things that need to have precedence, you know, like the role men play with children, the kind of confidence we instill in them in spending a lot of time, because men do that. Men instill a lot of confidence in their children. Like there's a lot of articles that support the fact that men interacting with their children create a sense of confidence and sense of risk taking, that they go out and try things and learn more, and we inject a sense of exploration into children, and it's part of our masculine outward energy, and is a very good thing. And I think that men more should advocate being around, playing a part in the children on our terms, not on the terms that's dictated to us by women. That's one. I feel men need to have more of a say in the interactions that we have within our relationships, in terms of like how we negotiate future plans. Just outside of finances, just like the general dynamic of wife, children, home, how we want it to work, and what is more suitable for us in the new generation. You know, it might not be the old traditional stuff of cooking 3 times a day or freaking expecting your wife to clean the house every morning, but just be more vocal about how you feel that what that dynamic looks like or feels like to you as an individual going into your relationships, rather than actually sticking to a generic or a social norm of how it's supposed to be. I think now is the time to actually start being more expressive and creative in terms of veering off from the cultural norms or social norms of how men are predominantly in relationships. I think there needs to be an open dialogue about the influence of external families as well in relationships.
The importance of it, or just how it happens?
I feel like,
or the value of it.
I believe that in olden times, there was more of an extended family.
Right.
In modern times, it's more of a nuclear family where it's just about the man and the woman. But I feel like there has to be the discussion of meeting in the middle, that transition, because it's all well and good having a relationship between your woman until children come in. And then that's when the support of the extended family becomes very vital. Needing grandma and granddad and auntie and uncle to all work as a unit and as a team. I think discussing that kind of dialogue and knowing how to freaking allow it to have a certain kind of synergy is something that men should freaking pay a lot of attention to, rather than just leave it solely to however your woman's going to deal with the children's childcare or whatever it is, or just making it a thing about just giving her money and she sorts it out. I think we should have a huge input into a lot of the dynamics of what's happening inside a home now, because we're very much a part of it now. We're not traditionalist men anymore, where all we do is work and then we ignore everybody all day long. Like, we have to have a part to play in everything now.
So men should be more involved in that decision making.
Every decision making in regards to a home.
And they do with this particular situation.
I think they do,
of having the extended family involved in the rearing of the child.
I think it's most.
No, don't chew on the mic. They're gonna kill you.
He's chewing on the mic.
Chew it, and then talk.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. It was me that gave it.
I know. You have to be the.
What was the question? Sorry, bro.
I think I said, don't men currently still do that, as in have an input in how the extended family
They do.
influences.
They do,
the
but
rearing of
I
the
still
child.
feel like it's still hugely a social norm to leave it to the women. I think it's still hugely a social norm to just, especially when the relationship is in a good place. Like when the relationship is cool, it's just, my missus will sort it out. Yeah, my missus will sort it out, My missus got it. Like, and that's not necessarily forthcoming in the future when problems start out. Because I feel like that's also one of the leading issues where when people begin to split, the woman feels like, well, I've been responsible for everything to do with these children from the beginning, so why should your input matter now? And I've noticed that is where a lot of problem. I've seen it like literally in real time where mothers that they lived together, had children, and now when they split, the mother is kind of awkward about the father having so much of a say about what the children do. And I started thinking about, we're married, like he's the father, and typically you would say that until you start noticing in a lot of dynamics of a lot of relationships, even though men and women stay together in the same house doing the same thing, men are genuinely just living their own thing. And when it comes to the kids, the woman is just really taking over and her family, her side of the family. Because most of us grew up closer to our mom's side of the family for that specific reason as well. I don't know many people that are not closer to their mom's side of the family.
Yeah, facts.
I'm close to my mom's side of the family. What about you?
Actually, it's the other way for me.
So I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good man still. That's a good man. You try small.
I won't get into it, but I might disagree with you slightly on that.
Okay.
I think it depends from person to person.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And the situations.
But yeah, that's my only input. I don't know. What you gonna say, bro?
So those are the only things? Because those sound like good additions, to be honest. I asked you what should men be more vocal about in this particular.
You don't think that was enough? You think there should be more?
To be honest, I thought you would say something like wild, because you mentioned Kevin Samuels before. So I thought you were going to say men should literally look to pipe women down a bit, but you said
pipe them down.
I thought not pipe as in sex.
No,
volume.
I think she knows what you meant.
No. I lost it for a second.
I'm scared every time Brent talks about
no.
I don't know what is going to
Oh, when he said pipe, you thought he meant sex?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I knew what he meant by pipe now.
To be honest, when you made the statement that men are too afraid to basically participate in the conversation that's happening right now, I thought you were going to say things that women may not
because basically
be
there's
happy
nothing that
with
you said that I believe would be shut down by a
who
woman.
would be fine with this?
But you see, the thing is this. I think it's more in the open dialogues that we're having right now that is the context I'm talking of. Like, I feel like in situations like this, you say what you want, just be more vocal, innit? But I feel like in a relationship and stuff like that, the objective is not necessarily to trigger anyone or get into arguments or issues. I just think that you as a man should feel a sense of empowerment in speaking about the things that make you feel advocated in a relationship. I don't think that that's something that is necessarily in pursuit of dispute with women. I just think that that's something that is advocating the empowerment of men. Does that make sense?
You lost me.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I think you answered that in a way where you think he's asking you to say stuff that you think is gonna rattle women's cages. That's not what he's saying. I think your previous statement made it seem like what you want to demand from women would actually rattle their cages. Whereas what you said, if there was 10 women in here right now, I think they would receive everything you said with open arms, basically. Whereas he thought you were going to say something a bit more, or you believed in something a bit more controversial. That's kind of what he's saying.
I think his passion on the subject is really that men be vocal. It's not so much what
they're vocal about.
Yeah. It's just that he feels men are not vocal
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you mentioned earlier for fear of retribution from women. Yeah. So when you say that, it suggests
that you're going to say something like, I want women to lay down on their back every night.
I feel like it's common knowledge that right now, the climate we're in, there's not much you can say where you might not get shut down. A lot of times you don't even know what you're going to say that might trigger women. That's the context of which I said that in. But I feel like men should still take a chance and say whatever's on your heart.
So is it that women are reacting to the men speaking up, not so much what they're saying?
Do we think that men have unrealistic demands of women?
In what sense?
Just in any sense, in relationship sense, in dating, sex. I don't see it personally.
I don't.
Maybe
I'm
bugging.
I think men are extremely realistic.
Maybe
That's
fidelity.
what I'm saying.
I think
genuinely
fidelity
believe
might
that.
be
I don't think men have unrealistic expectations of women. I think
Fidelity.
women more so have unrealistic.
This young man is saying, I want to do whatever I want to do with my loins.
Fidelity.
Please don't bug me.
Yeah, fidelity.
But if he sets that precedent from the start, then she knows what she's getting herself into, I guess.
I think the thing of setting precedents with loins is it goes both ways. I think it goes both ways.
Yeah, but that means you want a certain type of relationship then. You want a...
Ethical non-monogamy.
There you go.
And you can
obviously,
apply for that.
Yeah, you have to establish that at the beginning. And if she's happy with it, then she's happy with it. If she's not,
I don't even think that isn't necessarily a want for that. I think that different people fit different kind of roles in your life. Like, not everybody is the same kind of... I could meet a woman that's, inspires a certain level of, mashallah kind of relationship,
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And then I could also meet a slush. It's still the same reality.
But would you want both at the same time?
He would.
Huh? And I think that's what we're getting at. Would you want both at the same time?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. I plead the fifth, fam.
You know what I mean?
Talk your shit.
Yeah, they put on that. You people are trying to cause problems in life. Oh, how did this?
And I think that's probably where the issues come with men. Like men who want that aren't necessarily allowed to vocalize that. If they do, it's going to be all hell.
But if we had time, remember that list of different sexualities and...
Like you said before, yeah.
Yes. On there, or maybe on the same platform, there's the option for different types of relationships, of which, the ethical non-monogamy fall and all that stuff. And I think maybe that's a discussion that hasn't made its way into the mainstream just yet. But maybe it has because, for example, that platform exists.
Yeah.
And that's for people who are, in non-traditional relationship styles and want to live those lifestyles, openly and satisfactorily.
But you don't find women who want a monogamous relationship every day.
To be honest.
But you find men often who want that. I'm sure a lot of men, if you ask them like in private, like
I'm down.
That's what they actually want. You know what I'm trying to say?
Do you ever think we will get to an era where women are now on par with men in that same vein? If we go along with what's happening right now.
Please
elaborate. We will get to where women also want that
ethical
which he says men only want.
We are already there.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think
all right,
women,
so we're here.
Not all
so
of
you saying
are we there?
He just said it. I didn't.
We're
I
there.
didn't say it.
Do you think we're there?
Bro, 110% we're there.
If
especially as Nigerians. Are you insane?
No, I'm talking about women. You're talking about women, not men.
Bro, Nigerian women.
Talk to me.
Well, okay, cool.
Talk to me.
What I was about to say was, even if we're there, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it.
You've never known about Nigerian men.
Nigerian men? We're talking about women.
No, Nigerian women. You've always known that Nigerian women were very highly monogamous at all times. That's what you've always thought them.
No, I know there's women who definitely play the field.
Our culture has huge ashewo behavior inside it. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about here.
What's a shewo?
I'm talking about here.
Please.
He doesn't know what a shower is.
Ashewo is hard to explain.
The thing is, when you're talking, you're always talking from back home.
Non-monogamous, what is it? Non-ethical. Is what do you call
Yeah.
it?
Ethical non-monogamy.
Ethical non-monogamy. That's ashewo.
When I'm not talking from here, innit? You're talking from back home, innit?
I'm talking about both.
Okay, I haven't seen or heard it here.
Do you know what's really funny?
Where there's women who are vocalizing that fact that they want to have multiple partners. I don't hear it.
No, but as a general consensus as Nigerians, I'm sure it's very common knowledge for us that everybody's doing more than they're supposed to.
Yeah, but I think you probably see it and hear it more than I do.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
For sure,
it's very
because you're making
especially uncle culture.
But again, you're talking about the generation before us. Well, I'm talking about this generation.
Uncles before us.
No, uncles are very
Uncles are very prominent here now. What do you think about that, bro? Are they not on the uncles? Uncles are active right now in the community.
I'm confused about what you're referring to now, I'll be honest.
Ethical non-monogamy.
Uncle, I'm not talking about uncles who are doing their thing. Of course, I'm talking about women.
I'm talking about women that have several uncles on the go. And it's common knowledge. Uncle for dinner, uncle for hotel, uncle for trips, uncle for
Yeah,
visa.
I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking
But
about,
isn't that ethical non-monogamy?
No, I'm talking about actual, like, I'm not talking about just boopsing man for money. I'm not talking about that. I don't count that shit, bruv. What? Because you've got an uncle who pays for your bags.
But it's the same ethical non-monogamy.
I'm talking about
right?
women who want multiple partners, who wanna be with multiple men, not women who are boopsing 10 uncles for a trip to Dubai and trip to Miami and bag and
all
shoe.
those men. So it's still the same thing.
Yeah, but that's prostitution to me. It's a different thing.
Yes.
That's prostitution. That's prostitution. Are you telling me a woman who is fucking men for money and gifts and that's prostitution? I'm sorry.
Bro, go to Lagos and say that to a Nigerian woman right now.
But that's what he was
Then
saying.
let's-
But that's
I'll
what he
duck
was
it.
saying.
I'll duck it.
Bro, you know how violent they are in Lagos if you even
I'll
call them
duck it.
prostitute for that.
Bruv, I said what I said, bruv.
Okay.
If for me,
They're strong man.
if you're fucking for an exchange of money, material things, holidays, that's prostitution. You're selling yourself for this material goods, whatever, bruv. That's no.
It is.
I think what Yusuff is trying to say is his what it would look like to him would be like a non-traditional marriage, I suppose, or a non-traditional relationship in which you're openly saying,
Yeah, like
I want to have Yusuff and Bilal and be
that's
in a
what I'm saying.
relationship
Like, for example,
with them.
That's what I'm saying.
let's just say Emily wanted to have 3 different partners who she dated, had sex with, and had a great time with. I'm talking about that as opposed to women who are just having men for money and all that
Yeah,
other stuff.
for purely transactional
Yeah.
purposes.
Oh my God, bro, you need to go home more. I'm telling you, even that, like,
And
you're
that's what he
describing.
said
That's what
to
I'm
you,
saying.
and that's what he
You're
said.
talking about home. I'm talking about here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're talking about what happens back home. Cool, I get it. But I'm talking about what's happening here.
I still think it's a bit of a reality here.
But I think that that platform that I showed you,
I do believe there are women who have sex with several guys because
what I'm saying is they're not vocal. I'm saying
I'm not the only
men
one.
are more vocal about wanting to have multiple partners. Women aren't that vocal.
Very
Yeah.
true. I agree
The
with
most vocal woman I know about is probably like Crystal.
yeah.
Like,
She's a-
what other woman do you hear? What other woman comes on this platform and is open about wanting to?
You're right. The ant.
No, I feel you. No,
because of the shame attached to it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because of the shame attached to it. Sorry, what was the what?
I'm not saying Crystal wants to date multiple men, by the way.
I won't lie to you. I slightly feel like the shame. I slightly feel like the shame is dying.
Don't let him do that.
I genuinely believe like the shame is dying slowly. Because I can't lie, with age, you meet women that are like, think about it. For the past 5 years, yeah, I've met loads of women that be like, hey, I'm polyamorous. Just wanted to let you know I'm polyamorous. I have several partners. Like, and no, if she's up, you run it. But if it's not,
is that several partners for now? Or is that her play forever?
Uncle, me, I don't. That's not my business. I'm just here for a short time.
I'm here for a short time. Not a long time. Here for a good time, not a long time. I hear that. Because remember, if this woman's going through her whole phase or just a phase where she's wilding out, cool. But I don't believe that women, that's all they want. Like, I'm just going to do this forever. I'm going to run the streets forever.
You see,
at a certain point, she wants to bow out. Whereas a man can just run it forever.
But you see, the thing is this. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm so removed in that sense where I know how to remove all my feelings from that nonsense. If that is your path in life, you have chosen, is consensual, is what you want for yourself. I won't even ask bare questions. You've told me.
No,
I respect that you chose to tell me.
If a woman sets her presence from the beginning, I'm not going to be prying and say, but why? Like, no. This is what you want? What you want, that's it.
Exactly. And then the one that doesn't even want that, then you know how to proceed.
Yeah,
me personally, the way I see it, like the person that says whatever aligns best with what you're looking for, you give the most time to.
Yeah,
That's what I genuinely believe.
Unlike women, men don't try to change a woman. Like a woman will meet a guy. Hear me out. I'm talking about in this aspect. A woman will meet a guy who is a player, who's whatever. She might try and change him. If a man meets a woman,
that's a hag.
Who's a hag?
She's there.
No man's trying to change her.
It's cool.
I ain't trying to. What's the phrase? To turn a hoe into a housewife. I'm not trying to change a woman who says I want to have multiple partners. Big man, do your thing.
Enjoy yourself.
Change for me.
No.
You know what I mean?
But I won't lie though, they are at the same time, just to play slight devil's advocate, I've met quite a few men that met girls that were honest about their past, honest about the fact that they're active. And they did try to change them.
Because they couldn't do no better. That's why. As in that man, he couldn't do no better.
Yusuff now. There are listeners like that too.
No, but I'm sorry, man.
He said he can't do no better.
How do you
He loves her. He loves her, you know.
How do you meet a woman and she tells you, yeah, I'm on this multiple partner thing, and
She's
you're like,
look, he loves
trying
her.
to change her?
He
Big
loves her,
man.
innit?
Nah,
Say,
bro.
man,
Nah.
they love
Because
the streets.
Already, I'm not even in love with your mentality. Already.
I said I'm not in love with you.
I'm not even feeding your mentality. So this is always. I'm just gonna be one of. You can add me to your roster. Couple games,
Part of my collection.
and then I'm off. I'm gonna try and change her. Hell no, bruv.
You're not on it.
No.
And like I said, let's all respect each other's
Yeah, no, I respect
viewpoints.
your decisions.
I respect.
Whatever. But
You gotta respect the hags. You gotta respect the good ones. I mean, hags are good ones too, but you know, you just respect.
I never use the word hags. You can do it. You can sex how many guys you want to sex. I'm not gonna call you anything, but that's
Too late.
just. But I didn't call them any names.
Both of you all said it.
There's
No, I
there's
didn't.
room for
Yeah, it
everybody.
was.
No, I didn't.
No, I said it, and then he kind of
Yeah,
was
but
going
you
off.
said it. I
He was
heard
going off what I said.
Yeah,
Before
I heard you.
he didn't say it before I said it.
I didn't say he didn't. I heard you say it and I heard you say it.
But he was
What?
reiterating what
100% that could be
reiterating what I
correct.
said.
Hag. I
It
said the
could
word
be
hag.
correct.
Yeah, you did. But he was
It could be
reiterating what I said.
correct,
He was
but I heard
reiterating
what
what I
you
said.
said.
He doesn't.
It's a lie.
He doesn't talk like that.
It's
I
a
can quite
lie.
agree.
I don't even use the word hag. Hag is not part of my vocab.
He was reiterating what I said.
I watched True Story.
You watched the story, nice.
Yeah.
You watched the true story.
I think so. What is it?
Kevin
again?
Hart.
Remind me.
You didn't watch it, then
It
I
was
think
rubbish.
so. It was rubbish.
Jeez,
What were you?
talk to
I haven't
her.
watched it.
It wasn't.
I haven't
It was
watched
rubbish.
it.
Explain why it's
I
rubbish.
knew from the moment.
Yeah, so did I, but it was
and
still
I was
good.
like, now what? And then I felt that it could have been. We could have had maybe a few more red herrings. Maybe it shouldn't have been as obvious from the start.
That's the one mistake. They made it too obvious. Because
Because
that's
once
the
you
style-
clocked that,
Sure.
it was like, now what?
But I still enjoyed it regardless. Like, I really enjoyed it. And at certain points, I thought maybe I'm not correct with my theory. A little bit. But then, obviously, I was correct. Thoughts? What's your thoughts?
I think it was good
Yeah.
because I didn't place it on any pedestal. I
Yeah,
just
I
thought it
didn't
was
either.
easy viewing and I
Mm.
took it as that.
Yeah.
I didn't think Kevin Hart was going to get an Oscar for this.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
I liked the scenery.
Yeah.
I liked the
It was well
role he
shot.
played. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I even like his mega fan.
Yeah.
Played well.
Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just said, oh,
Yeah.
it's nice viewing.
So I'm guessing it's called True Story because he's
He's
probably gone through similar experiences. I think it
Mm.
was his cousin who blackmailed him before. Remember that
He
was
also had the woman.
that was a
didn't he?
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I
guess
think
this
that's
is
what it was.
an exaggerated
But
version
Megan
of
Good Mark
Fictionalized.
too.
Megan Good Mark too. Oh, the girl who I wouldn't say Megan Good Mark too, but I understand what you're
I
saying.
say Megan Good Mark too because that's the type of rules Megan Good would
Yeah,
kind of
she
play.
was in Empire.
Yeah. She looks
She-
lovely.
Yeah, no, she's not. Do you know who we're talking about?
No.
Calves and that, thighs and that.
The one,
Little picture there when he was eating fruit.
yeah, the one who did she work in the hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, her little booty. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
When she stood up talking to him and he's having his
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah.
Yeah.
What-
Don't
she
you want to
was,
sit down?
Yeah, that was
she was in
nice.
something else recently as well.
Yeah, she was.
What was it? Was it BMF? Was she BMF?
Yes, as his.
Yes, she's in
Mrs.
BMF.
yeah.
Yes, as Lord Meech's
Mm.
big mother.
What else are you watching? Have you watched Harlem?
Harlem. Is that
It's
the
on
show
Amazon Prime.
Is that the show that Figgy was talking about yesterday?
Jezzy.
Megan Good.
No.
in it.
Oh, was that what Taser was talking about?
Jasmine
Okay.
Guy.
I need to freaking get Amazon Prime, man.
Are
You
you
don't like
on
it?
social media?
Yes.
But-
Where you work, does it matter what you do on social media?
Jesus Christ,
No.
this man.
Oh, because like I was wondering why you're like, oh, hold on, I'm gonna get cancelled.
Oh, him.
no.
No, I think it's just playing into the fact that you're trying to
Cancelled?
flame him.
Nobody. No. I just. no. Imagine that. No. It's gonna. I wear hoodies quite a lot, and it's just the hair gets in everything. Like my locks are all the way down to here, so
Yeah.
it's like I always put it inside the hoodie and cover it. Or I wear in a bun. It's not really a cancel culture or where I work. Or
Beautiful.
It's okay. Nobody will harass me.
So wait,
Where
there's
I
no
work.
shirt under the hoodie because I wanted to see that.
Excuse me.
Tattoo.
Tattoo.
Calm down.
Yeah, it's there.
Leave this till when you finish.
No.
I don't know what you're doing. She's saying, "Can you take off your top?"
No. She's not saying that. She wants to see. I got a tattoo on
You
my
got
elbow.
a new one.
Oh,
And
new
she's
one,
asking
okay.
me,
I
can
heard
she
what I
see
heard.
can I see the tattoo? Please, don't. Babe.
I was telling her to calm down.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm telling
I've done.
This man is dangerous.
you. It is.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Easy viewing and everything.
No, I think it's sick.
Yeah.
I think it's sick.
Yeah, I liked the end though.
Yeah.
It was nothing. What was the end?
What do you mean it's nothing? He killed his brother.
Yeah, and he just did it like
And he killed both. He popped those two
like
guys.
he's held a gun
Like a
before.
professional, yeah.
He's held a gun before.
Like he has 4 bodies on him, bro.
He did, I
He
know.
entered the movie as the innocent man, and he ended the movie with four murders.
And he got away with it.
Yeah, he got away with it.
But to be honest, I would have gotten away with that.
Would you have done the same thing that he did?
I wouldn't have killed
Your brother.
the Greek. I would have gotten my security guard to kill a Greek.
Hirsch.
Yeah. He seemed like a ride or die.
He did.
And you're going to take everything away from not only me, but also everybody who I pay?
What he should have done
Finished
was
him.
called the Greek guy's bluff. Like, you know what? I'm not
I'll
paying
give
you.
you-
Now what?
To be honest, I would have checked to see that it was dead.
Yeah. I
That's
said,
true. That's
I'm not
true.
paying you. Now what?
That was infuriating. He did not even. Did he touch her?
No.
No, he just picked up the phone
Yeah.
to say he was calling emergency service.
No, his brother rushed in the room and was like, oh my God, she's dead. And then rushed him out the room and then he never went back in the room again.
Yo, is this true story really a true story?
No.
No, definitely not.
It's a Netflix
I think
thing.
because basically Kevin Hart plays a comedian in this series, isn't it? And I think he's just embellishing something that happened to him where I think it was his cousin blackmailed him.
Mm.
So now in
Okay.
this show, his brother is blackmailing him. Well, he's not blackmailing him, but he's conning him
Yeah.
for peace. He pretended that a woman was dead. And then he got this Greek guy to come and get rid of the body. But now the Greek guy's saying, okay, for getting rid of the body, I need 6 million. I need,
Can you
500,000
imagine?
every single month. And Kevin's like, I'm not paying this. So he kills him. So he kills the guy.
Do you also think that?
Yeah, I'm watching this.
Yeah.
Watching this. I like this. I like this.
So he kills
I
the guy.
this.
So basically,
It sounds out still.
so what
It sounds up
Wesley
still.
Snipes is his brother, innit?
Wesley,
So-
what did you think of Wesley's appearance? He's aged funnily.
Nah.
He's lost weight.
I
Is it that he's skinny or age?
I thought his
Because he has a toupee on, innit?
Does he?
I thought his
It's
acting
not-
was
it's not
his
real.
acting was kind of mundane for me.
Yeah.
Because you remember him from...
Blade.
No,
and-
not
Metal Works?
not that I expected him to be ferocious.
Yeah.
It just seemed his acting seemed kind of like timid. It didn't seem like he wasn't very expressive
Yeah.
at all.
Okay.
But I can't lie, he's been taking kind of watered down roles. If you see, when I saw him in Dolomite, I felt that way as well.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, even in Coming to America
He's been taking
2.
less
Yeah.
serious.
Why
kind
was
of
he in
watered
Coming to
down
America 2?
roles,
That
like,
He
was
would not need
when
to
he
go.
used to be like more serious
Yeah.
roles. Like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ever since the whole coming out of
I
prison
feel
thing,
like
I think
we
he's
feel
just.
Yeah, this-
him
I think
more
it's
than he
jail.
feels
Yeah, after
Yeah.
coming out of prison, I think prison definitely changed him. Prison
Yeah.
definitely
But
changed.
what he done well was obviously if this is your plan and it's just going wrong,
Hmm.
he kept his cool
Yeah, he really
Yeah.
did.
because his whole plan is a spiraling out of control. Kevin's
Completely
killing this
from the
person.
get-go.
The Greek guys are trying to find out who killed the brother, and then he got the guy killed.
But he had to keep his cool because
He kept his cool really well.
Kevin Hart is literally looking after his life.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, I need to default to you anyway.
Because imagine that. Imagine you're pretending that someone's dead, then your brother really kills someone. You're thinking, fuck. Like, what is he gone and done? You know
Escalated.
what I'm trying to say?
Oh, I was going to ask you if you thought Kevin's killing of Ari
Yeah.
was realistic. Given like physical.
Nah.
It wasn't because of how
So
big
you lot just
Ari is.
ruining this movie for me.
Sorry.
But I'm not gonna lie, that scene was shocking though.
Yeah, it was
Like,
very
because it
unexpected.
was long. Like he had to, because
Yeah.
obviously because Kevin's so small, and he had to be realistic.
Peaked.
I
Yeah.
didn't expect it though.
No, I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect him to, while he was going to the bag. When I saw that, I was like, what are you
experiment.
going to do, sir?
Man,
It's
choked
like,
him
you
out,
got
man.
the wrong nigga. You
I was-
got the
He was
wrong
And I was
nigga.
thinking, this is bare loud, you know. Did you want people to walk in the room or something?
Because he was cussing to it.
Yeah, he was screaming. I was thinking, this guy wants to get caught, bro.
Bloody hell.
I'm looking for a
Like,
song of the
wasn't
week.
being
No, it's sick.
It wild. Still, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm gonna
it's-
watch.
But it's light watching. It's light watching.
It's not a movie, it's a show.
It's a series,
It's a series.
Yeah.
limited.
The first episode's an hour.
True stories.
Yeah,
True
yeah, they've got
story.
6 episodes,
I'll
like half
send
an
you
hour
the
each.
link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
okay.
wasn't
No, it's on
convinced with
Netflix.
the
I know it's on
older Greek
Netflix
guy.
already.
Okay.
I'll check it out.
I was looking for, no, yeah, the younger one seemed like he was about it. The older one
All the Greek guy.
looked like one
Yeah,
feeble
yeah.
brother.
I don't know if
When
you
it
mean
started
that.
talking the language, and cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit violent.
Yeah,
But you're not convincing me.
yeah, not at
You're
all.
not a gangster.
Not at all.
Even when they weighed in the guy.
Yeah. The thing is, Eugene was frustrating me because if you're such a super fan,
Yeah,
why were
don't
you
question
why
it.
were you holding the video? Just delete the video straight away.
No, but he played it well though.
But he knew. I think he
was
knew
using
it
as leverage.
Yeah,
Using leverage.
What, was he really? Was he really?
No, he wasn't. So why did he
No,
delete it?
wait,
Why
was
did he
he
delete it?
really?
Why did he delete
Even
it?
if to just close,
'Cause he was a bit gone in his head.
Yeah,
He was a
but
bit
even if
gone
it
in
was
his
just
head.
to get close to him,
He's
not
like, I
necessarily
look,
to blackmail him.
I kind of followed you, and just so you know, I have this.
Yeah.
Anybody thinking or seeing that, they would think you're trying to blackmail him for something.
Yeah.
What you want?
But he didn't.
But he sort of said, no. I just recorded it,
Yeah.
and now I'm going to protect you, right? But obviously, when Kevin started, trying to twang him, now he's like, "What are you trying to twang me? You don't need to twang me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have just deleted it.
I think-
but now that you're trying to twang me,
I think-
are you sincere?
I think Kevin's thing was he should have said delete it just
Yeah,
then and then. But he never.
Okay.
Because he wasn't sure.
Yeah, he wasn't sure.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure of Eugene's motive, innit? Because I was like, okay, just delete right now then. Give me your phone.
But you know how many people are like that?
Like who? Like Eugene? Oh, yeah.
It's actually quite frightening.
This is the way you're doing this.
Mad frightening.
It
But
is.
when I see people like that, I'm their best friend.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what would happen if it is I look to say something. I'm not shouting, go away. No.
The thing is, I was being very technical because I was like, oh, no, that's an iPhone. So you got to delete it again. Because remember, if you delete
100%,
Yes,
it's still in
the
it. Yeah, you
deleted
could.
folder.
Yeah.
it's in delete folder. So I was thinking, no, you got to go and delete it again. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe they're not trying to be too accurate to
they're
real
not.
life.
They weren't.
You know what
But
I mean?
he went out bad, man, which is sad. It's sad.
And he
Spoiling
actually,
it yet, but you're not going to worry about this anyway.
yeah, and I find it weird that he actually saved. Well, he
Yeah.
saved him.
Yeah,
He
he did.
did, didn't he?
He pretended that I killed your brother. He's screaming for his
Yeah.
life.
In that last
Bilal,
moment.
sorry.
It's all right. Don't.
No. He's gonna forget all of this by the time he watches it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Is the fatigue starting to hit you? Sorry.
And
And
then-
Okay, no, we can wrap up anyway.
Song
Yeah,
of
the
the
brother
week.
was out there meek as hell.
Brent does it so well.
Nah.
Yeah.
He's practiced.
Guys, if you haven't watched it already, go and watch it, man. It's on Netflix.
I'm
True
with you,
stories.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, watch
Yeah,
it.
it's easy watching. It's easy watching.
But I watched
The
it.
scenery and everything.
I watched it all in one sitting. It's like, how long is it all together? It's like 4 hours, maybe
I
longer.
watched it because Taser had said, "Oh, this is good."
Okay, now I bet people messaging me saying, "Oh, watch this, you
Was it
you
Taser?
like it."
Oh, Taser said Harlem, but somebody said anyway. It was you, Yusuff. You put in your stories.
Yeah, I
didn't
put my
you?
story,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was you.
Yeah, no, 16. All right, cool. You want to do songs of the week? Anyone got a song?
I've got one.
Alright.
I'm just trying to decide. Okay, I've got two. I'm not sure which one to play.
Here you go.
Oh, do I gotta do that? Okay.
You better go first. I've
Should I
got a
just
song,
play
but again, I'm not going to play it because it's Universal Records, so I'm just going to say it.
So should I just play it?
Yeah, hold on, who is it? Who is it?
It's Henry actually.
Who's Henry?
Yeah, he's going to be gutted that you said that, Yusuff.
He doesn't know Henry.
Why? Who's Henry?
Does he not know Henry?
No,
Why do I think Yusuff knows Henry?
don't know.
Is Henry one of your friends?
Yusuff, you know Henry.
Who is
Did
Henry?
he not
Wait,
meet
wait,
Henry
you
at
play
the
music
three
at the end of this
shots
thing?
after
Yeah.
party?
Everybody.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't introduced to
You
you.
didn't last time because you were on a different type of episode last time.
Okay.
That's why-
So now I gotta play something.
If you ain't got nothing, it's fine.
I'll go say.
All right.
They
Let's
got
go.
some.
You got
I
sex
got some.
You say? You got a sex tape?
Eh?
Sex playlist.
Huh?
That's a sex tape.
Bedroom jams.
Jesus.
No.
Brent, I'm
No.
somebody's father. Please.
That's a sex
Let
playlist.
my daughter not put on YouTube. I hear this. I beg. Brent, I'm begging you. I take God beg you.
All right.
Come back soon.
So Emily,
When
who is
Gina's here, you
who's
come back.
Henry?
So Henry June is a Ghanaian rapper. I'll call him a rapper for now.
Is he based in the UK?
He is based in the UK
Oh.
currently. This is off a project that he made during lockdown on his sofa, quite literally. There's two that I really like. I like Orbit and Kryptonite.